want war. Crime babies looking for food, starvation, the recipe, people subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day in every clue. Don't let it go, it's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep. Even 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and up and we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers, cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather, I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double, but nature gets the shit in a way that's subtle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear, but they won't cause the TV's whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't tear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't steer. And like an ab, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war.
Alrighty, today is the 13th, lucky number 13, lucky number 13. That means some heads gotta roll, actually. That means some heads got to roll. If you know anything about that number, big up to everybody in the EU, big up to everybody in the US and America, South America, Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, Canada, Mexico, and everything in between, and the EU, Europe, Denmark, Germany, you know what I'm saying, France. The UK is also, you know, they're not in the EU anymore, but they're part of Europe still, Northern Europe. And Sweden, what's up? Sweden, what's up? Australia, Japan, Korea, North Korea, South Korea, just Korea, China. What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing? I hope everyone's doing well. Africa, I see you down there in Nigeria, Ghana. Oh my God. I mean, even Somalia, South Africa, you know what I'm saying? Big up to you. All right. I want to say hello to everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. It is 9:01 Central European time. And that would make it 3:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, USA. And for everybody else, what is that? Asia, I guess that would be about 11 o'clock, right? Something like that, 11:01 a.m. I guess they're going to lunch. But big up everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. California, L.A., Arizona. What's up with y'all? Chicago, New York, D.C. Hope everybody's doing well. Atlanta. Yeah, but listen, y'all. Today is the lucky number 13. And my goodness. We got the whopper. I think pretty much things are exposed. You know, things haven't been so exposed as they are at this point today. You know, it's always been exposed. I mean, really, for thinking people, critically thinking people, we knew shit last year. I mean, let's just be honest. Let's be honest. If Trump is not one of the old ass men that was sleeping with minors, wow, he sure does fucking look like it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Let's just be honest, you know. People can argue about, where's your evidence? Where's your evidence? All you want. Okay, great, fine. You know, I don't have the evidence personally, but the shit that just keeps coming out is not doing him any good, his image at all. I mean, you know, come on. For a dude who basically lied to everybody, for a guy who, you know, wants you to believe that he knows nothing, you know what I'm saying? And he sure does act like he knows a whole lot, you know, and the information that keeps coming out, it is really horrible. It's horrible. I mean, yo, this guy, I don't know what his deal is. I don't know what his story is. I mean, let's just say this is real. Let's just say he was sleeping with minors, and let's just say it's all true. Jeffrey Epstein has videos, have pictures. Let's say Russia has videos and pictures. Let's say all that shit is true, right? Let's even say that he himself knows about other people also that have similar, you know, that are getting blackmailed too. Let's just say that too. Let's say that too. If all that shit is true, what the hell do you tell your kids, yo? Like, what the hell do you tell your kids? I mean, this is on Jump Street. This is on Front Street. Like, this is for the whole world to see. If this man did do these things, which I'm very certain he did. I'm very certain. I believe he did. I don't know, but I believe he did. And I believe a lot of the people around him know damn well he did too. Man, this is the perfect example of just what the problem with the USA is and has been. Greedy, old, nasty fucking men. Just and some of their helpers. They have women helpers, of course. We can't leave them out of it. And they just as rotten. They're just as rotten. You know, fuck that. Don't give anybody on your tax dime, your tax dollar, a break. Would you do that if an employee kept fucking you over every day they came to work and they just lied to you and conspired against you and fucking stole your money and gaslighted you to your face? What would you do to that employee? Because that's what these people are. They're actually literally employees of the taxpayer. They're your employees. Everybody, if you paid $1 in federal taxes, these people are your employees. They work for you. They work for you. And look at this shit. This is the best they got for the U.S. This is the best they got. Man, this is the worst shit anyone could ever have. Listen, every other country, just go ahead and laugh. Go ahead and laugh. Get it out. Get it out. Because it hurts. It hurts because Trump has found a way to fuck with everybody, right, in the most blatant ways. I mean, in the most blatant ways. So go ahead and laugh, like, because this guy's image. Where is the honor? Where's the honor? You know, there's a lot. No matter whether you agree with, you know, some nations' politics, man, this guy is going out with no honor at all. He cares. It appears like he cares nothing of honor. It's just about a check. So let's review the last 12 hours, because the last 12 hours have been blatantly brutal, blatantly brutal on Trump. It's been just more nastiness. So what are one of the things is, I know his nastiness. Isn't that what Epstein was writing in some email to somebody? They talking about the Hawaiian girl or some shit like this. It's like, damn, dude, like, listen. It truly appears that you are going to get all the tea on Trump and some little girls, likely multiple girls, you know, and communications about him. And you get to see how grotesque they talk about him, how they talk about him like a piece of meat, literally just a piece of meat. You know what I'm saying? Just this one from that country, Lola from here, blah, 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 from there, that state. Yeah, get her, you know, like, it is really, really sad. And, But more intriguing, I think, is what's really going to be interesting is to know how many of these men does he know? And has he been blackmailing them himself, Trump? Because Epstein sure appears to have been blackmailing Trump or planning on blackmailing Trump. I've been saying that for months now. Like, there's no way in hell Epstein wasn't trying to blackmail this dude. In the timeline, just go back. The timeline is like, goddamn. I mean, the guy is still his friend when he's running for office. He's still his friend when he's running for the first term. He has these correspondence, these letters. He's doing these interviews with Wolf, with what's the guy's name? Michael Wolf. While he's his friend, while he's running for office, he becomes president, and he's still doing audio recordings and interviews with Michael Wolf. Then he gets locked up under Trump's first term, and he dies. Like, again, coincidence? I mean, if you think it's a coincidence, put a 1 in the chat. If you think it's way more than a goddamn coincidence, put a 2 in the chat. I'm just curious what you think. And to me, I'm going to go with the 2. It's way more than a coincidence, because just the timing of that is blatantly, it makes the man look guilty of murder. It makes the man look guilty of murder. It looks like a murder conspiracy was afoot, because if you ever needed a motive, this man would certainly have one. You know, if there was anybody that had a reason to want Jeffrey Epstein dead, it would be Donald J. Trump. It would be him. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, let's go listen to see what this maniac have to say to everybody else. You know, he's going to claim some victory. Do you know he's bragging about signing in? Look, this is supposed to be a blank CR, a continued resolution, right? He's bragging about it like a continued resolution is some real big shit when we have to visit the continued resolution in 2 months. January 30th, it could be another shutdown. Now, so in other words, they haven't reached any real agreements at all about really opening up the government. How do you open up the government for 2 months? That's what they got, literally. That's what they got. And this guy's bragging about it, right? And what turns out to be in it is something like 8 senators have more. They have 8 senators have direct deposits coming from the Treasury into their bank accounts directly. 8 senators. This is crazy. This is outrageous. And we're going to get more into that. But here's Trump. Let's start it off with Trump, because he always likes to look confident, strong man. Man, no wonder. This is totally fraud. You know, he's a fraud. The man's a fraud. He looks like a fraud anyway. I don't know for sure if he's a fraud. I mean, he's been convicted of fraud.
For the past 43 days, Democrats in Congress shut down the government of the United States in an attempt to extort American taxpayers for hundreds.
Notice he's used the word extort. Has he been extorting people? Has he been extorted by Jeffrey Epstein? Has he been extorted by Putin? I don't know.
Hundreds of billions of dollars for illegal aliens and people that came into our country illegally. From gangs, from prisons, from mental institutions. They wanted to pay them $1.5 trillion, which would have really hurt our health care. Okay,
this is so odd, because he always likes to point out these things. It's projection. It looks totally like projection. Like, he does this. Since I am letting senators get direct payments from the Treasury up into $1 million each, since I'm allowing that to happen, let me talk about the Democrat fraud and the foreigners letting them in. What about the rapists getting Democratic tax, emergency hospital money? What the fuck? Where's the fraud coming from? He doesn't even tell you how to. He acts like there's some comparison. Like, there's some comparison. Now all of a sudden the illegal alien fraud, like the Democrat $1 million illegal alien fraud, like they was just giving them fucking cash, and this dude is literally signing a bill that gives people fucking direct deposits, $1 million direct deposits into their account. What you think is going to happen 2 months from now? You know what I think is going on here? I think these people all know it's over, and they want their money before it's all over. The people, it's just a way of paying people off. It's bribe. It's bribery. You know, is it bribery? I mean, you tell me. Does it look like bribery? If it looks like bribery, right? Hell yes. Because to me, this looks like, how, if you just got the power to do that, why would you do it, and for what reason? What is the purpose? What's the purpose of that? You see what I mean? So 8, look at how many, check this out. Look at how many senators voted against, right? I mean, look at how many Democrat senators voted against. That's 8-2, right? Isn't that a funny number? I mean, who are the senators that got the $1 million? That's the only thing I haven't heard in the news cycle. You tell me. Who got the million? Who got the who got $8 million? Which senators got $1 million each?
Businesses and our recipients at levels never seen before. Today we're sending a clear message that we will never give in to extortion, because that's what it was.
Oh, Donnie, what's up, bro?
They tried to extort, the Democrats tried to extort our country. In just a moment, I'll sign a bill exactly like we...
Look, you notice the MAGA people don't even want to know who the 8 senators are and shit. I want to know. Are they the 8 Democrat senators? MAGA, you maggots out there, don't you want to know if the senators are Democrats? Don't you want to know? I mean, MAGA people are getting real weird right now. They don't want to know about Epstein files. They don't want to know about corruption. It's like they don't even want to know about Democrat corruption anymore. It's crazy.
Yes, Democrats.
It's hot on the block.
To send us all along, many days ago. This cost the country $1.5 trillion, this little excursion that they took us on. Republicans never wanted a shutdown and voted 15 times for a clean continuation of funding. There's never been a time when one or the other party ever didn't sign a continuation. It's just a continuation, not a big deal. It's a continuation, and we'll talk later.
Okay, it's just a continuation. It's not a big deal. Yeah, is it? Why is it not? So it's not a big deal. That's what that is. That 8 senators getting $1 million apiece. That's not a big deal. Is that what normally happens, y'all? If that's what normally happens, put a 1 in the chat. Say yes, that normally happens in these continuation bills. People get bribes. People get cash payments from the Treasury directly to their personal accounts. Senators, is that normal?
Yet the extremists in the other party insisted on creating the longest government shutdown.
And if you're a thinking, peaceful person, you're an extremist. If you're a taxpayer, you're an extremist now. All of a sudden, you're an extremist. I mean, that's so interesting because you was asking for our motherfucking vote just how many months ago?
In American history, and they did it purely.
He just found out that all of us are extremists. All of a sudden, he didn't know that during the election. He didn't mention that at all. You know what I'm saying? He was actually making videotapes talking about black people and black Americans. You built this country. Yeah, you built this country. And, you know, there's more black people voting for me. Now, all of a sudden, we all fucking terrorists.
Purely for political reasons. I want to thank Speaker Mike Johnson, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, as well as House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, Majority Whip Tom Emmer, and numerous other great Republican leaders and congressmen and senators who are here, who frankly spent a long time in Washington getting this thing to go away. I also want to thank the broad coalition of Americans that stood with us in this fight to reopen government, including the Teamsters, the American Federation of Government Employees, the Fraternal Order of Police, AMVETS, the National Small Business Association, the American Farm Bureau, the American Trucking Association. These are all incredible patriots. The Airlines for America, the Allied Pilots Association, the National Air Traffic Controllers Association, and many others, unions and non-unions. Over the past 7 weeks, the Democrats' shutdown has inflicted massive harm. They caused 20,000 flights to be canceled or delayed. They departed so many times, so late. People were hurt so badly.
Oh,
nobody's ever seen anything like this one. This was
he cares about people being hurt so badly all of a sudden. He cares about people being hurt. Wow, that's really genuine. You know, that's some interesting shit. He's like, oh, you're hurting people, you Democrats. But if a Democrat ever said you hurt somebody, he would just be like, oh no, hell no, hell no, that never happened. If any, see, this is the funny thing about Trump. He's claiming, right? It's okay for him. If you think about this, it's okay for him to basically pardon how many people that committed violent acts on January 6th, on Jan 6th. He pardoned people that are fucking pedophiles. He pardoned people that are fucking murderers. Even to this point, every other day, one of these people that he pardoned ends up killing somebody or going to jail for rape or molestation of some minor. Like, seriously. And he's talking about, you hurt somebody. But when you ask him about that, nothing. You get nothing. The media is not even allowed to ask him about any of those Jan 6 people. It's crazy. What about the police officers that died? Is that okay? Did he care about that? No. Trump didn't care about it at all. He didn't care about it at all. He literally doesn't.
No-brainer. This was an easy extension.
He acts like he's the only one allowed to hurt anybody. And let me tell you this. The law of the universe says, hell no. No one has the right to be the only one that is allowed to hurt somebody. If you're going to do it, other people are going to do it. That's just what it is.
They didn't want to do it the easy way. They had to do it the hard way. And they look very bad, the Democrats do. They deprived more than 1 million government workers from their paychecks and cut off food stamp benefits.
That's so funny because he doesn't think that the health care is going to crush people. He doesn't think fighting for health care is enough. He thinks that, hey, y'all, you know what? Let me just switch right over right now. Because this is ridiculous. Let's put him on pause and listen to what he's literally talking about. Right? Let's listen to what he's talking about here. Here we go. Trump doesn't notice this.
They have absolutely lost their fucking mind. I'm going from paying $122 per month to $853.05 per month for health insurance.
The other day, I went online to check to see what my premium would be. It went up more than 250%.
Wow, no.
So now I have to decide food or my premium.
So I got my letter yesterday from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, and my health insurance premium is going to go up from $218 a month to $1,408 a month. Yeah. That's a 546% increase on my health insurance.
Right now we're paying around $950. We will be now looking at a little bit over $1,300 a month. For two people to have access to health insurance, that is $15,600 for next year to have health insurance for the both of us.
My current premium right now is $292 a month. Starting January 1st, it's going to $458. That's almost as expensive as my car note.
And this is one example of what Democrats are fighting for.
So
this is why they're trying.
If you talk to the trolls, they will tell you it is AI. If you talk to Trump, he will tell you, no, that's not true. Prices in the grocery stores are fine. They're cheaper than they've ever been. If you ask him. So, in other words, if you say one thing you don't like, if you oppose only one thing in their bill, just one thing, you get everything you want, Trump. All that shit you talked about, you get all that stuff you wanted. You also get the millionaires, the $1 million payments directly into 8 different senators' bank accounts. You get that too. We don't even want to oppose that. Only one thing. Folks have been telling the American people only one thing. And that is continue the American Health Care Act. Just continue it. So people's health care doesn't double, triple, quadruple, or even 250% more. You see what I mean? Only that, because that will put people in a situation where they have to choose between food or healthcare, or some people a home and healthcare and food. It hits people. It depends on how much money you have. Now, a lot of people, myself, a lot of people out there that listen to me, you know, some of y'all have more money than me and some of y'all have less. So since this is privatized healthcare, right, the price can be anything. You don't know what the price is going to be for you or the next person. You have no idea, and therefore you have no idea how much it's going to hurt. You have no idea how much it's actually going to hurt somebody else. You got no idea. You know, but you're not thinking about somebody else when you see that video. That doesn't, you MAGA people, that you don't have that empathy in your heart where you say, wait a second, damn, let me go check out and find out, is it really that bad? Let me go check it out. No, it's just me. It didn't happen to me, so I don't care. Okay. And then when it finally happens to you, you will be the last motherfucker going to the death camp, but you will still go. You will still get gassed because you ain't shit either. See, you're not a billionaire. If you in this chat, you're not a billionaire. I mean, are you, you know, I'm like, I hope you're doing well. I hope you living a safe life. I mean, you appear you have internet access, but how you really living? You ain't no millionaire. And let me tell you, I've met some millionaires and people that's a little more than a millionaire. The next number up, the next thing up there on top of millionaire. You see what I'm saying? So, and they ain't assholes like you. some of you MAGA people, man, that shit is crazy. But in any case, let's go back to Trump. Talk about all the pain the Democrats wanted to do. Let's listen to him. Go ahead, Trump. Tell us all the pain the Democrats are up to, please.
No brainer. This was an easy extension. But they didn't want to do it the easy way. They had to do it the hard way. And they look very bad, the Democrats.
Yo, click the like button, y'all. Click the like button, please.
Democrats do. They deprived more than 1 million government workers from their paychecks and cut off food stamp benefits for millions and millions more Americans.
Trump flat out fired 700,000 federal workers. That's just the federal workers.
Americans in need. They caused
it doesn't register in his brain at all. You know, when he does it, it's just like when he commits a genocide against somebody, it doesn't even exist. He's out here he's out here letting Israel bomb little babies. And he's talking about the Democrats are hurting people unnecessarily. Okay, with our tax dollars, he's letting somebody else bomb babies. Over and over and over and over and over, saying, oops, it's just because this. People that are just trying to go and actually collect food. You got people subsidized by the U.S. dollar shooting at them while they collect food. Food, something that they have a human right to. Women, mothers, kids.
Tens of thousands of federal contractors and small businesses.
Whatever happened to that, stop funding all this shit. MAGA forgot all that. See, all that's out the window now with MAGA. All that's out the window. The Jeffrey Epstein's out the window. Don't want to talk about that. Anything that they wanted to talk about before on their way into this second term of Trump, they done dropped all of it. MAGA doesn't stand for no more foreign wars. MAGA doesn't stand for finding the pedophiles and prosecuting them. MAGA doesn't stand against corruption. Look, they okay with corruption. They truly are.
Unpaid, and the total effect of the damage their antics cause will take weeks and probably.
And of course, we knew they was phony as fuck anyway. But damn, I mean, you have to give people an opportunity. Well, here's your opportunity. They got it.
To really calculate accurately.
Don't say you didn't get an opportunity. Don't say you didn't get an opportunity to govern. This was your opportunity, and this is what you stood by.
Including the serious harm that they did to our economy and to people and to families. So I just want to tell the American people, you should not forget this when we come up to midterms and other things. Don't forget.
This motherfucker's delusional. You hear that? I just want to tell the American people, don't forget this wrong that the Democrats did. Don't forget this wrong.
Did to our economy.
Is he trying to convince himself? He is, because that's part of his little psychosis and crazy game. He first tries to convince himself and he repeats it over and over and over. And then he expects everyone else to pretend now and go along with it. Now, one thing I noticed about this, see, there's Mike Johnson over here to the left. I actually want to get a wide picture of this. Because when you see Mike Johnson's face, he's sitting there listening to Trump. The man is like, when is this motherfucker going to shut the hell up? Like, seriously, I'm going to try to find another clip of this. Watch.
I mean, to people and to families. So I just want to tell the American people, you should not forget this. When we come up to midterms and other things, don't forget what they've done to our country. I also want to...
Yeah, don't. Hey, y'all, I just want to tell y'all, forget that Elon Musk raided the Treasury. Forget that. Forget that, y'all. Forget that I sent ICE out to towns. Forget that. Forget that I withheld federal disaster dollars. Forget that. But remember the wrong that the Democrats did when they tried to stop people's health care prices from putting them out on the street. Forget that when they tried to help your grandparents have health care, have a dignified end of their life, have some elder care, a dignified, last moments to their life. Don't ever forget when the Democrats did that horrible act.
Call for a termination to the filibuster so that this can never happen again. If we had the filibuster terminated, this would never happen again.
This is how desperate he is to lose this is all about the election. He wants to change the rules so when it comes election time, he can try to use every lever possible to either harass people at the voting booths, right, or change the rules of the game. You see, he's going after the filibuster, so he wants to vote on something else. He wants to have a vote to restrict what? What does he want to do? Mail-in voting. He wants to stop that. And everything else. Anything else he wants to stop that has something to do with voting. So he knows that he can't win with a fair game, and he knows that he hasn't been playing fair. So he's going out like only a pedophile or molester would on the national stage. He's like this. It appears like this. You're calling me a pedophile? Then I'm going to do these things to you. Since you know, or you pretend to know these things about me, since you believe Jeffrey Epstein's words about me, I'm going to do this to you.
And don't forget, we have another date coming up in the not too distant future. We can never let this happen again. And we should be able to pass really great legislation. So I say terminate the filibuster because, by the way, the Democrats will do it immediately if they ever assumed office, which hopefully they won't.
Which hopefully they won't. So why the fuck would you? Do you see the logic in this? This is a double speaking, double forked tongue talking devil.
Happen again, and we should be able to pass really great legislation. So I say terminate the filibuster because, by the way, the Democrats will do it immediately if they ever assumed office, which hopefully they won't.
Which hopefully they won't? Well, hopefully you fucking won't. You see how that got twisted all backwards? He's telling Republicans to get rid of the filibuster because that's the first thing Democrats will do when they get power. And then he says, but hopefully they won't. But you're not advocating for anybody not to do it. So why would Democrats not do it if you're not even advocating for your own party to not do it? He's advocating for the Republicans to do it and advocating that the Democrats don't. And hopefully they don't. Yo, this is some crazy shit.
Legislation. So I say terminate the filibuster because, by the way, the Democrats will do it immediately if they ever assumed office, which hopefully they won't. Today we had the highest stock market price ever in all of the...
How many of y'all own some stock? Trump's going into a realm broke asses can't even handle. So if it's any of you broke ass trolls out there, let me just ask you to break your heart. Do you have any stock? He's acting like the average person owns stock. The average American, man, if their health care costs this much, how the fuck would they own some stock? If they have to live paycheck to paycheck, how the fuck would they own some stock? What the fuck? And this guy's like, the stock market? Yo, again, I'm going to ask everybody a question. Do you know what percentage of the taxes that you pay actually go to helping your actual life or your community directly, do you know what the percentage is of that? So it goes back into these things because he's talking about shit that's totally irrelevant to the average American. The average American doesn't fucking own stock. And if they do, it's not enough to really make a difference. And he's acting like, look, the stock market is up, but your eggs is up too. The stock market is up, but your heating bill is up too. The stock market is up, but that steak is up too. The stock market is up, but your rent is up. Stock market is up. Your health is up. Stock market. You see, it's like this. There's nothing you can do with this person but impeach them. Every second that you tolerate this, you are in an insane fucking world. That's all it is. There's nothing that makes sense about anything that he's saying. You are being beaten up by a sociopath, by a sick man. And, you know, he's just a sick fucking man expecting you to walk the sick path that he prescribes for you, yet he don't have to walk it himself. Everything that he's done in law is specifically designed for him to benefit and you to fail, you to pay the price for him. I mean,
different markets, we set a record. It's the 48th time in the 9 months that I've been in office that we had this.
They ain't even got, I mean, you know, he don't even want SNAP to go out. This guy at the same time is in the courts right now. I mean, I hope you know this. Even though he signed this deal, he's in the court right now trying to get the Supreme Court to not order him to issue the SNAP. So he ain't even going to issue, really. I mean, to be honest, it looks to me like he's waiting for the Supreme. I mean, he is waiting for the Supreme Court because the SNAP ain't released yet. But here's the thing. He would logically wait for the Supreme Court to judge because he wants to put it on everybody else and put it on them. He's already been told twice by lower courts, Supreme Court, by the lower court to release the funds. And he took it to the Supreme Court. He took it to the Supreme Court to try to get it overturned. And the SNAP is your tax dollars. At the same time, in the same bill that he's sitting up here talking about he signed to save Americans against the dirty, evil Democrats, right? From wanting you to have fair health care, from wanting your grandmother and your mother to have access to health care. He calls that evil. He literally, in this same bill, literally 8 senators are getting direct payments from the Treasury to their bank account. Each payment over $1 million. If you don't believe me, you think I'm lying? Like, do you really think I'm lying? Like, this is some crazy shit. Look at this. Hold on. Check this out. Go back. Where is this at? 1 second. Come on. Let's get back here. Look at this shit.
Every single Republican on the Rules Committee voted against my amendment, which would restrict the payola provision out of this bill. They voted to keep in the bill a provision that will send millions of dollars to senators' individual bank accounts. That is corruption. It is payola. They should have had the courage to stand against corruption, and they didn't. They voted down my amendment. Now we won't even get a vote on the House floor. It shows you where Republicans stand, and it's not with the American people.
No,
every single Republican.
So you could see, actually, they're just basically stealing people's money. And Mike Johnson talked about the Democrats won't even sign a clean CR. They just won't even sign a clean CR. Why won't they sign a clean CR? They won't even sign a clean CR. You know, he's saying that it's just to fund it. It's nothing else in it. No, man. Over $8 million is going directly out of your treasury, out of the American people's treasury, into these fucking senators' direct bank accounts. You know, and these maggots are so stupid that they just have to support anything that fucking Trump does. If Trump rapes a girl tomorrow, they will support it. If they have pictures of Trump molesting little girls, videos, these maggots will support it. And anybody that would support that would definitely support robbing you of any future whatsoever, putting the country in debt, sinking the country in hell. You see what I mean? Because anybody that's going around doing that obviously hates themselves, you know. But in any case, let's listen. No, hold on. Forget that. One more thing. I mean, you got to hear it. This is what they're all talking about.
It's great to see you all, Mr. Speaker.
Look at this.
We've been looking for you guys everywhere. Where the hell have you been? Imagine my shock when I found out that you guys went home. 8 weeks of taxpayer-funded paid vacation for Republicans. And why did Republicans do it? They did it because Democrats had the audacity to ask them to try to lower people's health care costs. And while they sat on their couch for 8 weeks, we were working. We listened to people who told us their health insurance premiums are doubling and tripling. We heard from people who don't understand why.
Yo, listen, y'all. I got 300 people watching, 370 people watching. Click the like button, y'all. Do me a favor so more people can get in the algorithm.
You guys moved at the speed of light to give tax breaks to billionaires, but you won't lift a damn finger to extend the tax credits that help ensure people's health insurance premiums don't skyrocket. This CR, this dirty CR, which does nothing to solve the healthcare crisis, is one of the most immoral, unethical, evil things that I have ever seen happen in all my time in Congress. But it's just part of a larger pattern of indifference from Republicans that we have seen time after time after time. When the billionaire class needed another tax cut, when they wanted to funnel money to the people who write their campaign checks, boy, did Republicans deliver. They rammed through their awful, big, ugly bill in a nanosecond. What the hell is wrong with them? While regular people are struggling to pay bills, Donald Trump's net worth has gone up by $3 billion since he became president. People's health insurance premiums are doubling and tripling, but Republicans say there is no affordability crisis, even as their tariffs are costing people an extra $1,200 per year. Regular people can't afford the rent, and Republicans are letting Trump gild his bathroom and build a ballroom to host the rich and powerful elites who own the GOP. These guys are bailing out Argentina. They're giving $40 billion to an entirely different country rather than helping the 42 million Americans who can't afford to put food on the table. And here's the clincher, Mr. Speaker. Buried in this CR is a corrupt kickback for 8 Republican senators, $1 million payday funded by taxpayers, taken straight from the Treasury and deposited directly into their pockets. What the hell is wrong with this place? And here's the clincher, Mr. Speaker. Buried in this CR is a corrupt kickback for 8 Republican senators. Different country can afford to put food on the table. Speaker, buried in this CR is a corrupt kickback for 8 Republican senators, $1 million payday funded by taxpayers, taken straight from the Treasury and deposited directly into their pockets. What the hell is wrong with this place?
Yeah, so there you have it. That is on record. That is on the floor of the Congress. You see, so that's on record. That's on historical record. You see, and you know, for some reason, you know, there's still some people out there. I mean, we know the trolls are always going to make an excuse because they work for Russia and China and Iran and whoever else wants to get in on the action, right? Try to confuse Americans. But the actual real maggots, there's still stupid people out there that just still don't get it. Still don't get it. You know, they're happy with being robbed, their own taxpayers. Now keep in mind, if an illegal immigrant stole 1 penny, they would rather focus on that than the Americans stealing billions right in your face. You see, and that's what shows you how sickly these people are, you know, where their priorities are. I mean, they don't care about somebody stealing $1 million. They care about the one person that took an apple. I mean, they would say a crime is a crime. You shouldn't have stole. Get out. You're illegal. But what you going to do about these motherfuckers that just got your money? Nothing, because you're a bitch. That's what it is. A real life bitch. Not a troll, because the trolls ain't getting robbed like this because they just capping like they're Americans. The actual real people, you're bitches. Come on, Trump, let's go. I'm serious. If you copping for this, if you making an excuse for this, if you can't stand up to this, but you looking for an illegal immigrant, you a bitch. You a bitch.
So think of that, 48 times we had a record.
You're Trump's bitch.
Record set, but today is the highest of them all. We're gonna break new grounds. Nobody.
You're Elon Musk bitch. You're Peter Thiel's bitch.
Would have thought. I have with us not only the great political leaders, but the great business leaders of our country. They're standing right behind me. And really along.
And pretty soon you're about to be everybody else's bitch too. Because people that's rising up against this shit, you know, they gonna catch you.
And if we would have told them a year ago that we'd be having stock prices this high, none of them. In fact, I just asked them that question.
Yo, I looked at the gold stocks this morning. The gold stocks were actually, they went up a little bit too. It's up to 26 now. It was on 23 yesterday. So it did go up. So yay, gold. Listen. I invested in gold when this dude first took office. I did two critical things when this guy first took office because I already know what's going to happen. He's going to rob everybody. So when you rob the dollar, right, and the dollar suffers, people take their money out of the dollar and they put it in the gold. And that's what makes the gold rise. Very simple to know that. That was easy to know. But right before Trump got in office, as soon as he got elected, I was like, yo, I better get my passport renewed because the passport agencies and all of that shit, State Department is going to slow down. All of that shit. I don't want to take no chance with Trump. You know, he might try to refuse me my damn passport or some shit like that, you know, because they don't like freedom of speech out there. You know what I mean? So people that's outside of the U.S., they're going to want to try to hit them with some slow down your passport services and shit like that, or any other service. So I got my passport. Thank God, because I can outlast this motherfucker. My passport is for 10 years. He won't be around then. You see what I mean? So there's things you could do if you got your head screwed on right. But he's bragging about the stock market like Americans, the average American owns stock. No, man. The working poor can't afford stock. And the working poor is way bigger percentage of the population in the U.S. than it is in other Western nations. You know, it's crazy, man.
None of them would have believed it. And that inures to jobs.
He's like, none of them would have believed it. What the yeah, this is crazy. He's talking like, you know, like he's just made everything wonderful to the degree where it couldn't even be imagined. You know, it's like this guy is a narcissist. That's what he is. He is a pure sociopathic narcissist. He is going to stand up there and tell you the lie of the century over and over. Look, you could be standing right there next to one of your family members, next to your brother or your sister, and he would look sincere like this right in your face and tell you they died yesterday. Like straight up, there's nothing stopping him. There's nothing inside of him that stops him from lying. He has no conscience whatsoever. You know, it's all gone. It's all gone. He would lie to anything. He would lie to his goddamn mother. I'm telling you, he would. He would lie to his father. He would lie to anybody, his kids, anybody.
And very importantly to 401ks, which have also set a record today, a record high for the people that have 401ks. And also, I want to thank Walmart because they came up with...
Yeah, they got 401ks. The 700,000 federal workers you fired, they got this 401ks. Yeah, they don't have a job anymore.
A fantastic study. It was the cost of Thanksgiving coming up and the cost of Thanksgiving from a year ago under Sleepy Joe Biden. And with 25%.
Oh, he's about to hit you with another Sleepy Joe Biden lie. So, y'all, in case you didn't know, I'll do it for him. In case you didn't know, Thanksgiving shopping is cheaper this year than it's ever been. It's 100% cheaper than it was under Sleepy Joe Biden and Kamala. Okay? So I said it. So believe me, it must be true. It's cheaper. All that shit you talking about, you paying more? Nah, you're wasting money, man. You went to the wrong places. If you just did your research, you could find it cheaper. It's way cheaper. I don't know why you keep doing it. Maybe you're part of the Democrat hoax.
lower this year than we were a year ago. And it's a very inclusive report. So I want to thank Walmart. They've done it for many years, but we believe in that. We believe in that company.
Man, Walmart is about to suffer. All these companies, they about to suffer, man. You know, you could trick the stock market is one thing, but you can't trick people shopping. You can't trick it. And people don't have money, so you will see less shopping. It's just that simple.
I want to also thank the 8 Senate Democrats who finally did the right thing in voting to end.
He acts like those 700,000 federal workers don't go to fucking Walmart. You know, they ain't going now. That's almost 1 million less Walmart shoppers, yo.
This craziness, this madness, but unfortunately the vast...
You cut off SNAP. You think somebody going to fucking Walmart now? You just cut their SNAP off. Why would they have... If they don't have money for regular shopping and they need SNAP, why would you think that's going to improve? Man, this guy is outrageous. He's like, you know what? Fuck it. I mean, what are they going to shop at Walmart with? What, cash? They don't have cash. They're going to have to, this makes no sense. Can you use your SNAP at Walmart? Let me know if you can, because I don't even know.
Majority of congressional Democrats were happy for millions of Americans to suffer. They really did suffer too. And the Democrats admitted, they said, well, no, we finally have a point. Even though people have to suffer, we finally have a point. And
he said the Democrats admitted it. Anyway, this guy's, he's a lunatic. If we see the video to the left, you will see there's MAGA Mike Johnson to the left of the screen, right? And in reality, if you see his face while Trump is saying this, man, I don't know. But to me, it looked like he was like tired of Trump, like totally fucking tired of Trump. And apparently there's some sort of split. You know, I can imagine a split in the White House. But in any case, let's hear a peep of this.
Young lady from Minnesota continues to reserve her time. Gentleman from Massachusetts.
Mr. Speaker, I love these guys. I mean, they're all introducing legislation.
Oh, right. We saw that already. Here, let's see. I think there was Jamie Raskin up here also. He said a few things. I don't want to play all of it. Is this Jamie Raskin right here? Here we go, right here.
Raskin. Gentleman from...
Let's see here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I want to hear what Jamie Raskin has to say, and then let's go to the normal news cycle, see what the coverage is.
Nice for 1.5 minutes.
And thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. McGovern.
Do me a favor. Click the like button, y'all. Thank you.
This bill, which they now call imperfect, contains the single most corrupt provision for legislative self-dealing that anyone in this chamber today has ever voted on. It is such an egregiously corrupt act of legislator self-enrichment and plunder of the taxpayer that not only did every single House Democrat oppose it in the Rules Committee last night, but multiple Republicans were denouncing it. That is, before they were summoned into a side room and instructed to vote for it.
Yeah, Jamie Raskin, he's one of the heroes, man. He's really, he's been on it, man. And thank you. This guy actually really teaches civics as well. So, he's not just a guy who gets up there conveniently when it's time to speak. This guy's been teaching people around the country, holding civics classes around the country, which is something a lot of Americans take for granted because, look, if you know your civics, you can't even get in this problem with Trump.
They all proceeded to do. Now they're telling us, vote for it today, and they'll repeal it, well, maybe next week, or maybe the week after that, or maybe before Christmas, they'll repeal it. I've got a solution for you. If you don't like this corrupt provision, don't vote for it today. That will work.
Facts.
This is a great bill. A great bill, that is, if you think 8 Republican U.S. senators should have a right to collect at least $1 million in a jackpot bonanza payoff from the taxpayers simply because they were subject to the exact same rules all other Americans were subject to and are subject to now. And they don't propose to change those rules for anybody else, not for more than 300 million Americans. Not for the members of the House of Representatives, not for governors and mayors. But
this is what MAGA Mike Johnson called the clean CR, just a transfer of actual cash dollars from the Treasury into 8 different senators' personal accounts. What the fuck?
For themselves, they want to deal themselves a special legal privilege. In this Republican class war, Great Gatsby economy where President Trump has made more than $3 billion since he reoccupied the White House, the federal building which he has proceeded to demolish in large part, where millions of Americans face losing their health care and their SNAP benefits. This provision is an affront to our taxpayers.
Yeah, Trump was acting like he signed some bill to release SNAP, and he's literally still in court trying to get the Supreme Court to overturn the ruling. He's hoping the Supreme Court says he don't have to put out all the SNAP money.
The rule of law to everyone who believes. Could I ask for 15 seconds more? It is an affront to everyone who believes that we in public office must be the servants of the people, not the masters of the people who get special legal rights and privileges and multi-million-dollar payoffs. People who think that they have a right to better treatment than everybody else, like Ghislaine Maxwell in their prison camp where she gets room service, puppy time, and special gym privilege.
Hold on. Somebody said good withhold the SNAP from the black. You see, that's a troll, so I'm going to go ahead and block that one. Let me block that troll, y'all. Sorry. Here we go. Remove. Right. Yeah. And, this is the funny thing. It's like, I don't understand what people are forgetting, because, in reality, it's really, I believe it's more white people getting SNAP. What the hell is this person talking about? And why do you always want to play this white black people game? Because we're all human beings. We all related. The only difference is our color and our hair texture. What the hell are you talking about? I mean, this is I would say that might be some sort of foreign troll. You know what I'm saying? But listen, in general, yo, we've smartened up since last year about what trolls look like. And we know that there's some foreign governments that want to put Americans against each other. We figured that out. So you ain't going to get me like that. You could be in the chat writing all kinds of shit. It ain't going to work. Sorry. We're not living in the Stone Ages anymore. Okay. All that shit about white, black, and all of this trying to turn people. Man, fuck that. I'm going to pick up a gun with a white person, stand right next to each other, and we're going to defend our country together. What are you fucking talking about, you weak ass piece of shit? Whoever made that comment, like, fuck you. Even, this is the thing about it. I like everybody to have their culture. I like everybody to have their culture. You be you. You be you. I don't have a problem with anybody being them. And they shouldn't have a problem with me and my ethnicity being us and our ethnicity, because we're not hating on anybody. In fact, we've always been fighting together with other people to straighten this shit out. So don't even try to insult people's intelligence. Okay. African Americans have fought in every war in the history of the country, side by side with everybody else that was there. So only ignorant people even go down that path. Only ignorant people go down that path. It's always been, and it's always going to be that way. You will never eliminate black African Americans or black Americans from the United States of America, because we work hard for our shit. Okay? We defend our country. We build shit together with other people. We don't sit back and complain. Okay? And we don't sit back there and do all of this racism bullshit. Okay? We don't have to. Sure, there might be a few who play on that stuff. Anybody playing on it, white, black, or whatever you are, that shit is weak, man. The world is tired of that. What the fuck? There's racism everywhere in the world. There's fucking racism in China. There's fucking racism in Russia. There's fucking racism every fucking where. You think you're going to get over on us in the United States of America? We're very fucking diverse. How diverse is Russia? How diverse is China? Shit, you better get out of here with that bullshit.
Gentlelady from Minnesota. She reserves her time. Gentleman from Massachusetts.
I yield 1 minute to the gentleman.
We heard Raskin. So let's go back to let's go back. Yeah, I had to say that because I could see there was a troll in there who writing some racist comments. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I'm about to, yeah, exactly. Thank you, Neanderthal bot maggots. Exactly. Yo, listen, Tia, you see anybody making any racial comments like that, just block them. Go ahead. You put them, time them out for 24. Time them out for 24 hours. Y'all, don't worry about the maggots. Don't worry about the maggots. We all got brains. We're immune to their dumb shit now. It ain't gonna work this time around. So try all you want. I hope Putin and she and whoever else is paying you a penny an hour. Okay, I understand you. Trolls need work also. I get it. God damn. Trolls need work, y'all. Trolls need work. Don't hate. Trolls need $1. They need $1, okay? Trolls need $1, yo. Trolls gotta eat.
Epstein, sitting in the gallery with Stein and Jessica Michaels,
Here we go.
were met with a big round of applause, well deserved. With me still is Arizona Democratic Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva, sworn in less than 24 hours ago. I hope the name sounds good to you, as well as Jess Michaels, one of the Epstein survivors who was present in the House gallery and mentioned during Congresswoman Grijalva's first floor speech and has been working tirelessly to help educate the public. I'm so grateful you're here. Thank you so much for staying with me.
Okay, she's sworn in now. So
there was just a lot happened today. You were on the House
did
floor
y'all see
when this
did y'all see the
was sworn in.
Did you see her get sworn in? MAGA Mike Johnson sitting there, his fake ass sitting there acting like, oh, I'm just a nice guy. I was just doing my job. Fair is fair. Okay, it's just another day at the Capitol. It's like, here we go with the phoniness.
And there was a huge trove of emails released. There was the 218th vote. Tell me about how you're digesting all of today.
I'm not really digesting at all, actually. I mean, that's part of the, the stress of it all.
Yeah. Trolls got to eat too. I get it. They really got it hard, y'all. Can we raise up the minimum wage for trolls out here, please? Because they really suffering and shit.
Excitement of it all, the even small needle move towards justice and being heard and being acknowledged that this should not be delayed anymore. We should be pushing through releasing the files. So it was very emotional. It is a moment in time that will last for me for my lifetime, watching her sign that dispatch petition.
And let me ask you, what was it like having Jess there in the room?
And no, she is not DEI. It's a damn Democratic election. Okay, that is purely only votes that count, and she got more than the other person. That's how it works. No single person hired her for the job. It was an election. Okay.
She represents so much strength. I mean, think about having to tell a story of one of the most difficult periods of your life over and over.
Yeah, I want the trolls to have universal health care. Who wrote that? What the? Yeah, I want the trolls to have. Can we help? Do you need something, brother? You need something, sister? Can we help you with something? You need some clean water? What the fuck you need? Huh? You need a place to rest your head? Goddamn, I know. Okay, life can be hard.
Over and over again, so people actually hear you, to put a face with the story. It's not just a story. It's like a life that has been forever impacted by somebody who chose to abuse children and women. And so her strength to just stand up. And I was so glad that they both got a standing ovation, because it was that powerful that it's like, and here they are. And I just think it's so important for people to be able to put a face to, like, this is not just a random story. This is a real person who's been impacted forever.
And it's really what it is all about. And I can't underscore how hard it is to do what you do, and to be out there as you are. It's incredibly courageous. Let me ask you just about, I don't even know what you've had time to consume today. There have been a huge trove of emails today that have been released. I don't know what you've consumed. If anything surprises you that you've seen out there reported about Trump being...
Now we getting into the nasty emails, the dirt. Come on. Can we get the tea on this shit? I mean, it's totally disgusting. It's disgusting. I mean, who in public life, who that reads the newspapers, who that follows politics day after fucking day have to just always come back to, wait a second, just because these people don't want to release it and get it over with. Day after day, we got to talk about somebody molesting somebody. I mean, and it's elected politicians, it's elected officials. Trump is an elected official, and it's other men in his cabinet. Ghislaine Maxwell basically admitted that there's other people in his cabinet. You know, I mean, she implied it, you know what I mean? And she's been lying. They've been lying, because this is the thing, when you're you know, being charged, or when you're convicted in anything, but when you're charged, it's best to not say anything. Just don't talk to any prosecutor, because they can use that information, and then you play yourself if you're not very cautious, you know. And obviously these people are used to lying and used to getting away with lying. You know, that's how these narcissists are. That's how these sociopaths are. They can't help themselves. So if you give them an audience, that eventually they're just going to start lying and creating a new world. And that's what Ghislaine Maxwell did. But let's hear some more, because this is about to get gritty now.
At the House, about there are a range of things. Anything you've seen that surprised you today?
Nothing surprised me. And I do believe the most important thing that all of us as survivors are really trying to get across is that it is so much bigger than Donald Trump, and we hope that everyone keeps their eye on that. Yep.
It's so much bigger than Donald Trump, and it's these people around him, and others. I mean, let me ask you a question. If you think there's any judges, put a 1 in the chat. If you think there's any elected officials, other elected officials, put a 2 in the chat. Okay, let me know what you think.
As opposed to just narrowing it.
Oh, and if you also think that it's like some elites like Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, you know, or others, put a 3 for them.
Down to one person, because that's where we've failed in the past.
And if you think it's all just a hoax, put a 4.
It was just Ghislaine Maxwell, it was just Jeffrey Epstein, and that's where we lost so much time, and where we
I put a 1, 2, 3 on that shit.
Lost so much.
Mic check.
So it is bigger than Donald Trump. So the surprises, I think, are still going to come.
1, 2, 3.
This is Congressman Garcia raises this exact same point about just the number of predators who are being covered up right now because of all of this. Let me ask you about just there was a huge effort to prevent.
Motherfucking taxpayers have to deal with motherfucking predators, deal with molesters. I mean, that's so pathetic. That is just so pathetic.
And more information from coming out from the White House, from Kash Patel, from the Attorney General, and they kept using this phrasing, credibility, like credible information. Only credible information will be put out. It sounds good. It feels to me like a whole lot of gaslighting. What did you make of it?
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting to use the word credible.
Yeah, why you got to use a qualifying word? Why not just put the shit out? Why not just put the shit out and let it lay where it is? You know what I mean? But we're only going to put out credible shit. Okay, wow, that's deep, man.
When we have 3 terabytes of information and decades of an investigation, and yet if there was nothing credible, we wouldn't have those things. There was nothing credible to follow.
It's all goddamn credible. What the hell they talk about?
There were no leads. If there was nothing egregious happening.
Right. If there's nothing egregious happening, then what the fuck would you be worried about? You know, and if it's not a victim's name, then what else is there to it? It's like
there would have been no investigation. There wouldn't be all of this information that's now being dropped off in
facts,
tens of thousands of emails, and we haven't even seen a fraction of it. So I think
Zilla TV.
It's a moot point.
They also used that term before today, and we saw everything that was released today, which seems quite credible.
Exactly.
One of the things that we were just talking about about how there's some Republicans who came out today and said they would support the discharge.
Marius, Russia. Hey, by the way, did y'all know that there's been a recent article in the last maybe 72 hours where a Russian official or somebody that was working for private police in Russia said that that the Russians do have videos of Trump with little girls. That's a real news article. I'm not talking about some phony ass news article place with it, bullshit. No, someone really said that. That's a verified story. They don't know if they have those, if it's the truth, but this is being reported also. This is just newly in the news, new news cycle.
Previously done. Don Bacon is one of them. Kevin Kiley, maybe. How important do you think it is for a big number, any Republican who supports the idea of transparency in this case, to vote for it next week, sending a message that it's not just 220, but a much bigger number than that?
Well, also that you're not going to support pedophiles.
Yeah.
You're not going to protect pedophiles. You're not going to protect people who continue to assault, victimize, harm girls and women, children. I mean, you're just not. That should be a nonpartisan issue. I mean, the fact that we're sitting around saying Democrats are pushing for this, it shouldn't be Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. It should be the whole government. It should be understood. I mean, imagine if you found out some kid in the school got molested, right? And all the parents come together, and one of the parents starts talking about, why are they doing that? Why do they want to know? Why they keep talking about this? That would obviously make that person look like they're part of it, right? I mean, who the fuck wouldn't want to know what the fuck is going on? If you got a child in the school, like, what the hell? That makes no sense. But this is the stuff that the folks are selling. And I see somebody in the chat is just like that too. They're like, why do Dems care? What the
White House just out with a new blistering response for Democrats.
Somebody in the chat wrote, why are Dems doing this?
After they released emails written by Jeffrey Epstein that referenced President Trump. Here's Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
Oh,
It is not a coincidence.
Ooh, Caroline Leavitt. Thank you. It's Caroline Leavitt time. This is exactly what I was looking for. Where the hell? Caroline, lying ass Caroline. Let's make her face real big, because this is going to be hilarious. Let's go.
Coincidence that the Democrats leaked these emails to the fake news this morning.
They leaked it. They leaked these emails like that's a fucking crime. You know what I'm saying? So they leaked the emails. They have them. Why the hell did they release them? She didn't even say release like they have the right to release it. She's like, they leaked it like they're breaking the law or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Ahead of Republicans leaked.
Caroline Leavitt.
What the hell?
It is not a coincidence that the Democrats leaked these emails to the fake news this morning ahead of Republicans reopening the government.
Why wouldn't you? What the fuck? Hello? They're having an investigation about Epstein. They've been leaking shit the whole time. What are you talking about? That's the whole point. People are saying we want to know what the fuck is going on. And you see, she slipped right there because she just showed you she's more worried about the implications of Trump than she is to even want the public to know what the fuck is going on. And she's talking about Jeffrey Epstein emails like, what the fuck is she? Why does she have a problem with it? You see, again, the only person that would have a problem with it is somebody that's a part of it, you know, straight up. And she's doing this to herself. This is her own public statements. You know, she is hiding something. I mean, she's admitting to hiding. She's admitting to hiding and covering up people that are believed to be a part of Epstein's molestation ring. That's what she's pretty much doing right now. Now, she could say that, well, I didn't know. I don't know. There's no evidence that they did it. But the mere fact that people that Ghislaine Maxwell said that there's others involved, you know, said that other people know things in Trump's, cabinet. The mere fact that people think it, that the public thinks it, the mere fact that the public thinks it, and these are the public's taxpayer dollars. These files belong to the taxpayer. Explicitly, each one of you in the chat, each one of you that's listening, these are your motherfucking files. And she's standing there talking about like you don't have a right to fucking see them. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy, but she's getting paid by your tax dollars. So why the fuck is she so special? You know, what the fuck is so special about her that she can know all of this shit and she don't want you to know nothing about it? Like, what the fuck, lady? Get the fuck out of here. Who the fuck are you? Damn, this lady, this is what you got to tell. I'm sorry, but this is how you got to talk to them in real life, because they will have you sitting back thinking you, the taxpayer, is just nobody, and you're paying her bills. Like, what the hell? You go for that? You a chump. Straight up.
Fake news this morning ahead of Republicans.
Look, she can't even say the lie without smiling. Let me slow this shit down for a second.
Reopening
I just want to see how this looks. Slow. Her smiling like that. It's the fake news, huh? She can't even say it with a straight face. She can't say it with a straight face. This is crazy. This is crazy. She cannot say this with a straight goddamn face. Look at this. Let's take it back. Here we go.
Not a coincidence that the Democrats leaked these emails.
Sorry. She goddamn looks like she's lying. I mean, come on. Look at the slant in her eyes, man.
That the Democrats leaked these emails to the fake news this morning ahead of Republicans reopening the government.
Look, lady, nobody fucking believes you anymore, all right? Goddamn. Put a click the like button if you fucking don't believe Caroline Levitt. All right, please, y'all. Put a 1 in the chat and click the like button if you don't believe this fucking lady. Like, goddamn, what is wrong with her, man? She don't know people can slow down video and shit. Like,
not a coincidence that the Democrats leaked these emails to the fake news this morning ahead of Republicans reopening the government. Why are White House
why the fuck is she smiling?
officials then meeting with Representative Boebert in an effort to try and get her to...
Actually, I'm only responding to the gaslighting. You know, if there wasn't somebody standing in my face or on the screen right now gaslighting my ass, I wouldn't even be this upset, y'all. I'm sorry, but really,
not
really.
sign this petition calling for the release of the files.
Look, she hates that fucking question. Look at that. Look at her face get sour too. She's like, why don't you just let them release it? And she's like, now you're going to talk about that again?
White House officials then meeting with Representative Boebert in an effort to try and get her to not sign this petition.
Look at that. You see that right there? Yes. She doesn't want to go. She doesn't want to have to go on record. But Caroline, you picked the job. You picked this fucking job, you know, and you're on a welfare job because you work for the taxpayers. OK, and so basically you may as well work for a fucking prison. You may as well be one of these people that works in a damn prison. I mean, this is just, what kind of job is this? I'm sorry. There's people that do an excellent job in this place, and then there's people that makes it painfully clear that they just getting a government check. You know what I'm saying? Like, really? I'm serious. These are the people you complain about. She's not fat and lazy like a lot of these people try to make it seem like if you're incompetent because you're fat. You know what I mean? But she just fits that mold that they want to look like. But in reality, she's not doing. She's bad at her job. She's bad. She's not good. She's not even making it seem like she's telling the truth. This fucking girl would come out here and smile when the context is the president of the United States being said to have known about more girls and emails being leaked. Hawaiian girl, right? And the context of Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and she can't come out here without laughing? Yo, lady, who the fuck you laughing at? You're living off of our motherfucking money. Just remember, you know, like seriously, this is the most offensive way you could respond. The way she's responding is offensive.
The government. Why are White House officials then meeting with Representative Boebert in an effort to try and get her to not sign this petition calling for the release of the files? Doesn't it show transparency that members of
gaslighting? Doesn't it show transparency? Doesn't it show transparency that you're being accused openly over the news of having something to do with molestation? Doesn't it show you're being transparent? What the no?
And are willing to brief members of Congress whenever they please? Doesn't that show?
She's like, you being accused of some horrendous shit, and she's like, the response to you being accused of some horrendous shit and you lying is that's what transparency is.
Our level of transparency.
In
No.
one email from 2011,
All right.
Epstein writes, quote,
Hold on. Now we got to slow this down. This is real right here. Let me see something. What can I do to make this a little bigger? Let me make sure this is viewable for everybody. Oh, you know what I can do? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to slide it over myself. So here we go. Let me see here. I'm going to move it around. It's going to move a bit. So check this out. I hope that does it.
the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Redacted victim spent hours at my house with him. House Oversight Republicans earlier questioned why Democrats redacted the name, saying, quote, it's because this victim, Virginia Giuffre, publicly said that she never witnessed wrongdoing by President Trump. We have CNN's Caitlin Collins, who is live at the White House.
Let me pull
Caitlin,
that
we
back.
heard Levitt address this meeting at my house with him. House Oversight Republicans earlier questioned why Democrats redacted the name, saying, quote, it's because this victim, Virginia Giuffre.
Why are White House officials then meeting with Representative Bush? Members.
Trump. Redacted victim spent hours at my house with him. House Oversight Republicans earlier questioned
Can y'all see
why
that?
Democrats.
Hold on. Let me see something. Wow. Okay. Let me make this a little bigger. All right. So let's see. I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Blank. Oh, y'all can't even see what I'm doing? Right. Okay. That's right, because it doesn't move in real time. I'm sorry about that. Spent hours at my home with him. Okay. Blank spent hours at my home with him. He has never once been mentioned, police chief, etc. I'm 75% there. Damn. So this is Epstein snitching on Trump in 2011, right? That's what that appears to be. He's communicating and he's making it sound like his intention is to leak this to the police or leak this to the public, basically out Trump. That's what it looks like here. So to me, this is 2011. Is this February 2011, the 4th of February, right? Isn't that how they write the dates? Or is this the opposite? Is this the 2nd of April? Let me know. But in any case, it's 2011, and this is Jeffrey Epstein vacation, right? Wow. Now, is there? Okay. So there's more to this. So let me just break that back down. I just wanted to make sure I read that for myself because I didn't get a chance to read it earlier. I did watch some of the coverage on it, though. It's like a really hot story, and there's more to this. There's some other writing coming up that's kind of scandalous here. They're talking about some Hawaiian girl. Let's play. Come on.
Hours at my house with him. House Oversight Republicans earlier questioned why Democrats redacted the name, saying, quote, it's because this victim, Virginia Giuffre, publicly said that she never witnessed wrongdoing by President Trump. We have CNN's Caitlin Collins, who is
Virginia
live at
Giuffre.
the White House.
Okay.
Caitlin, we heard Levitt
Okay, thanks for that, Jason. Okay.
address this meeting at the White House that's expected to happen today. It does include Congresswoman Lauren Boebert. What have you learned about it?
Yeah, Brianna, two things stood out to me from that briefing. Obviously, Caroline Levitt was saying that they believe these emails prove that President Trump did nothing wrong. Obviously, he isn't accused of any wrongdoing. We made that clear in our reporting this email. They just shed new light on Jeffrey Epstein mentioning Donald Trump.
That is the best defense, too. You know, we found a gun. We found a gun in his room. You know, it proves he did nothing wrong. This is like, yeah, they found a knife in your jacket. Proves he did nothing wrong. It's like, what the hell? All of it. Again, gaslighting, you know, and you know, if this man walks free, you know, it is really it would be a crime to American people. It would be a crime to American people, and it would be also the reason why I say a crime to the American people, because the whole world is watching, and then they will know that we let our officials do shit like this and get away with it. That damages the reputation of the United States more seriously than a lot of the other shit does. You know what I mean? This is like, okay, so a conspiracy or corruption could be selling weapons. Okay, fine. Right. You do that. You know, it could be invading people's countries. Fine, you do that, because then they always say, you know, have some talking points as for defense. This group and that group was attacking some of our allies, or, you know, so they have that conversation. So how do you defend this then? Why you defend this? This is just a simple act of grotesqueness. You know, you're literally now going to have to defend you know, molestation and rape and sex trafficking, slave trafficking of minors. That fucks over any other argument you had made about any other action before. Because it shows people that, damn, you will just, there's no end to the excuse. You see what I mean? And like her thing is, proves it. You know, imagine that. Yeah, proves we were innocent. It proves he was innocent. I mean, imagine that on the international level. You know, drop the nuclear bomb. It proves we were innocent. Proves Hegseth was innocent. Hegseth was innocent. Yeah, he gave the order. It proves he was innocent. Like, what the fuck? He gave the illegal order. It proves he was innocent.
Multiple times in private court.
Yo, these people got to get the fuck out of there. People got impeach Trump. Impeach Trump. Impeach Trump. The next shutdown, and I actually fuck that. I ain't even gonna say the next shutdown. Anything. The next anything needs to be only impeach Trump. Only impeach Trump. Just impeach him. Do the rest later. Get his ass out of office first. Do the whatever else you gotta do. Do it later. Do people need to see more? Like this is really insulting. To have to actually play this out while this dude is in office, like, get him the fuck up out of there, man.
Correspondence over the span of about 15 years.
Because this is your tax dollars. He's wasting your time.
They did not deny that Donald Trump spent time with Virginia Giuffre at Jeffrey Epstein's house. That is obviously what Jeffrey Epstein was insinuating in that email to Ghislaine Maxwell from April 2011, but obviously they were critical, highly critical of Democrats on the House Oversight Committee for releasing these emails that they got as a result of that bipartisan subpoena. But it was a pretty short briefing, Brianna. Obviously, it was about.
I mean, what you expect the Democrats to do? To keep them a secret? No. We got our hands on some emails. Keep them secret, y'all. Don't release them to the public. What the fuck?
1:25 or so when the press secretary came out with the FBI director, Kash Patel, who gave an opening statement that was unrelated. It had to do with fentanyl and China. He left without taking questions. And then Caroline Leavitt delivered her own opening statement before taking questions. So relatively few questions in that briefing there. But obviously several of them were about.
Facts. They will defend anything. They're so damn vile. Exactly. What can be more violent than this? You know what I'm saying? What do you want to find out next? That they were handcuffing them and chopping their body parts off after they have sex with them or some grotesque shit? I'm sorry. You want to find that out? That's the only thing that could be worse. It's like, you know, some sadomasochist murderer, serial killer. I mean, damn.
These new emails from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell and to the author, Michael Wolff. And the other thing that stood out is that meeting that we exclusively.
And yo, remember, y'all. Last year, MAGA was really hard on this. They were really hard on release the Epstein files. And one of the reasons why they were hard is because they had this story. They were throwing this story around talking about Hillary Clinton was drinking baby blood on Epstein Island. They stopped saying that, right? They don't say that no more. They don't even want to know if Hillary's in it, right? They don't even want to know it. But here's the thing. What if that turned out to be fucking true? How would you know if you don't release the files? You see what I mean? And and I don't believe that in a second that it's true anyway. But what if it's somebody else? What if someone else was doing that and they put that story out about Hillary just to gaslight, just to throw people off of it? You see what I mean? Like, because it sounds so outrageous, you would think, nah, nobody would be doing that. But what if somebody was? And it's not, you know, forget Hillary. I don't believe that at all. But what if it was someone else doing that there? What if it was? What if it was Elon Musk? What if it was Elon Musk? What if it was Peter Thiel? What if it, I mean, you know, it just makes me wonder, like, is there more? Is there something worse than just molesting girls there? Not that ain't bad enough, and sex trafficking them. Not like that's not bad enough, but could it be worse? Like, could it involve some deaths or something? Like murder too?
Recently reported on here at CNN, where the White House was hosting Lauren Boebert, a Republican congresswoman of Colorado, who has said, yes, she agrees that the White House and the administration should have to release all of their files related to Jeffrey Epstein that are inside the Justice Department. They described it kind of as a routine briefing, as you heard her saying there about transparency, that when members of Congress want to be briefed, that they should be briefed. Let me tell you, Brianna, it is incredibly unusual for the Attorney General, the Deputy Attorney General, and the FBI Director to brief a single member of Congress.
You hearing this? This is scandalous. They are literally trying to buy the lady off to stop her. You know, this is scandalous. This is crazy. So, obviously, I don't know. I'm just starting to think for the first time, y'all, to be honest, I'm starting to think that it's not just blackmail. There's obviously a lot of blackmail in there. I'm starting to think it's not just the sex slavery and the sex trafficking of minors and other women. I'm starting to think there's something else to it too. Like, I'm starting to think that, I don't know. My instincts just tell me to, because they're really, really going out. They're going further than I thought they would go, to be honest with you. I don't just believe anything, you know what I mean? And I didn't even believe at first that, although it's obvious now that MAGA Mike Johnson would send Congress home only for the reason of preventing Epstein, this 218 thing. I thought like, okay, that could be true, but maybe he's not that desperate. Maybe it's not just that, right? Maybe it's something else, and that just happens to work also. Nah, yo, it was only that. It was literally only that. So that tells me in these kind of meetings, also this meeting with this one lady to try to get her to reverse her stop from releasing these things or asking for them, demanding them. I'm starting to think it's something else, another element into this, like murder or death or these kind of things too. Like, seriously, that's all I'm saying. It's just my instinct,
They weren't briefing her because she was the chair of a committee on a pressing matter.
I'm sorry, y'all. Let me know. Do you think that there could possibly be something worse, like murder, death of minors, or things like that in this also, in these files? If you do, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, put a 0 in the chat.
If she wanted to talk about the Epstein files, and that is what
I'm talking about Bobart. Yep.
They talked about. It is unusual to have that high level of Justice Department power sitting down here at the White House with a Republican congresswoman. But what also stood out from that is Caroline Leavitt is confirming our reporting that, yes, that meeting did take place. And, of course, a question is the White
House. So it's a lot of people that think there's something like murder or something in there, too. Maybe something worse than this, than just the sex trafficking and the blackmail,
Houses.
It's just my instinct, y'all. I see y'all. A lot of y'all have the same instincts as me.
Try to get some of these Republican members to take their name off of that petition, and whether or not it will be successful, that still remains to be seen. But to describe that as a routine briefing, it is certainly not, Brianna.
Yeah, and as you are
What's up, Eric?
Certainly aware, because you've reported so many times on meetings, it's not unusual for when the president wants something from someone to have them to the White House for a meeting. So it's really interesting.
This is unprecedented, man. I mean, but don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously this is a narcissist move, because that could also be a narcissist move. Like Trump, he's desperate to see Trump. No matter what, he's going to try. Narcissists do this all the time. No matter how much fucked up shit they did, the moment people start catching on to it is when they're most active in their cover-ups. And they will go deep, deep, deep and mental on your ass. They'll look you straight in your eye and tell you what you want to hear. At the same time that they're actively working. When they're not in front of you, they're actively working to head you off, to change something, to find something to, stop the impending reality from being known or the impending truth from coming out, And so it could be this desperate narcissism, and Trump ordering all of this directly to, or it could be that and some more shit. And it could be the other ones, Cash Patel and Bondi, like, whoa. If this shit gets out, they will know we knew about this too. So, yeah. So I guess it's that too. How many of y'all think this is also desperation, not only from Trump, but also from Pam Bondi and Cash Patel? If you think that it's also desperation from Pam Bondi and Cash Patel, because they will be implicated in a cover-up if there's really fucked up things to be shown, which we know there will be some. But I'm talking about real fucked up shit. If you think that they are also desperate to keep it quiet and to cover it up, put an X in the chat if you think that they are desperate also. Not just Trump desperate, because he would be narcissistic desperate and also desperate in general, but also at this point Pam Bondi and Cash Patel. Put an X in the chat if you think that also.
To see, that's something that certainly raises questions. Caitlin, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Boris?
Let's get some perspective now from Dave Ehrenberg, a former state attorney for Palm Beach County, Florida. Dave has known Attorney General Pam Bondi for many years. He worked as her drug czar in the Florida Attorney General's office. Dave, thank you so much for being with us. Generally, I wonder what you make of the correspondence that we're seeing between Epstein and his associates.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I see a lot of people getting cut off from the X. Just put a put an A in the chat instead. I see it's blocking the chat is being blocked. Everybody can't get their X's through. Yeah, so just put an A. I'll know what that is also. Yeah, sorry about that. I forgot the chat gets blocked sometimes.
3 people in particular.
Attorney General Pam Bondi for many years. He worked as her drug czar in the Florida Attorney General's office. Dave, thank you so much for being with us. Generally, I wonder what you make of the correspondence that we're seeing between Epstein and his associates.
Boris, good to be with you.
I'm seeing everybody's messages, but y'all might not see them because when you put the X in, some people are getting blocked from it. Sorry about that. So you could just put an A if you mean X. I'll get it now. Yeah, okay.
I think it's bad for 3 people in particular. First, Donald Trump, because this is a story that won't end. It's not going to end until the files are released. It's a drip, drip, drip. And there's no indication that President Trump did anything illegal, but his association with Epstein is what it
I love that when they say that, it's no indication that he's done anything illegal. Yeah, we know because he's just right here on the edge. It looks a hell of a lot like he's been sleeping with minors. But we just don't have all the information like the photographs. We need the photographs. And can we get one person that's accusing him directly? Well, we have that already because that Katie lady came out on videotape. Look at this. I mean, come on. What is this? It's a woman on the internet who just gave like an hour-long deposition talking about she was molested by Trump when she was 13, had 4 encounters with him at Epstein parties. I mean, come on, we just supposed to unbelieve that and shit and just act like we didn't hear this and shit? Like,
it is, and he needs to get in front of this story instead of letting this define him, because he's sitting back and there's just a constant drip of information that makes him look bad and makes his supporters wonder what's going on. And that demand for the release of the files ain't stopping anytime soon. It's just,
I mean, I think they trying to goad him by saying that, it doesn't appear that he did anything illegal. Yeah, right. Nobody saw Katie Johnson, like, just because she decided out of being threatened, her life being threatened multiple times over and over and over, she decided to disappear. Oh, well, then it means, no, we can't use that story. We can't use that deposition.
going to increase.
I think they trying to trying to get Trump to just say, yeah, well, if you're innocent, you appear to be innocent, then why are you hiding this stuff? And that's a good argument too, but damn.
The clamor for those files to be released. Number 2, it makes Ghislaine Maxwell look like the liar she is. And I don't think she's going to get that pardon or commutation of her sentence anytime soon, because she said that she doesn't remember seeing President Trump ever visiting Jeffrey Epstein at the house. Well, the emails show that she does recall that. In that email,
Hold on. Somebody said it's blocked, but somebody, Wildheart said, supposedly a maid was sexually assaulted, and had a child, a daughter. She was forced back to Mexico. Is that have something to do with someone else? Supposedly the child was born in Russia. Oh, really? Damn. Okay. Shit. Well, I heard some other things about some GOP members, messing around with their maids, Also, I think that's not even a rumor. That's damn Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's some real shit.
Jeffrey Epstein, she remembers that when Trump would visit Epstein at the house. And then third, Michael Wolff, who's a journalist, but it looks like he's giving free legal/PR advice to a pedophile. He needs to come clean as to what this is all about.
There's one
facts. He needs to come clean. Now let me see. There's one other. Hold on. Let's see there. Yeah, they're going to discuss this.
One email in particular that we don't have context for, in which Epstein mentions Trump. He refers to him as the dog that hasn't barked. And notably, Republicans on the House Oversight Committee identify the person who's redacted in this note as Virginia Giuffre, who has never accused Trump of wrongdoing, but these emails show that Epstein says Trump spent hours with her at my house. I wonder just what you make of that, and the argument from Republicans that redaction in itself is meant to imply something that Giuffre never accused Trump of.
Yeah, it's correct. I do think the Republicans have a point here that the name Virginia Giuffre was redacted, but Virginia Giuffre, in her book and in public statements, has never accused Trump of anything improper, said that he didn't do anything improper. The question is whether or not they spent time at Epstein's home. That's still an open question. And also, Virginia Giuffre has had some issues in the past of credibility, which is why she wasn't called as a witness in Ghislaine Maxwell's.
So there's something. Giuffre says she's never seen anything, bad between Trump and any little girls, and Trump says he's never been to Epstein's house, but then it's being confirmed here by Epstein in the email that he has been to his house. So there it is.
Trial, but
now let me
the
see
fact
something
that Epstein
else.
says that Trump spent hours with Giuffre at the house tells me that there's still more that we don't know, and it is consistent with Trump saying that a reason.
I mean, look, just this. Look, they impeached Clinton because he got a sloppy toppy from Monica Lewinsky, right? Who was an intern, who's young, and that's foul as hell. You're not supposed to be sleeping with people you're working with. That's a professional environment. You're not supposed to be going after the interns. You're not supposed to be going after anybody. You know what I mean? Like, go somewhere else and find your dates. That's a pathetic thing to do. But that was Monica Lewinsky. She was an adult, and she didn't say that he assaulted her, right? It was just a scandal, right? Now, here you have Trump, on the other hand, like openly being accused openly by credible people. A person who died, who he had arrested and died, is basically accusing him. That's what this letter is. You see what I mean? He's and the letter is written where it implies that Maxwell knows also. You see what I mean? And then you have the Katie Johnson videotape. You see what I mean? And you have all the lies from Trump, all the slip ups from Trump, never being forthright. Not to mention, all the other shit, the Russia scandal, unless you want to believe that's not true, the mafia, washing money through his construction, through his properties and things like that, construction endeavors. Hey, there's people been convicted of this stuff. You want to believe that's not true? Why the hell is this dude still president? Like, what the hell? Why is he still president? What's so special about Trump? Who in their right mind sits all the way up to this point, and they're still like, yeah, he maybe didn't do it. Who cares if you think he didn't do it? This shit looks fucking ugly. Way too ugly for him to even be sitting in the office. The fact that we found out so much more after he's taken office, that should be enough. It was already too much in the beginning. This is way over the line. Just being accused, this many data points, this many things to corroborate this, and this is way too close to, aha, now we got the pictures. So you're going to wait to impeach this guy until the pictures are released? This is the joke of the century on the American people. Man, this guy's just one dude. It don't matter if it's true or not. Get him the fuck out of there. If it's anywhere close to being true, anywhere close, he's supposed to be the fuck out of there. What is this?
I wonder if this now further shades the conversation that Ghislaine Maxwell had with Todd Blanche before she was transferred to a club.
Yeah, impeach Trump. And listen, y'all, January 30th is the next round of the shutdown. Don't pay. Tell your representatives, do not pay, do not fund the government, because this CR has to be redone again. That's the new time. Fuck this. Shut the government down until they get these people out of there, man. This whole administration are a bunch of corrupt asses.
Club Fed style prison where she's treated much better.
They can do no good, only harm to you and the USA.
Than the high security prison she was in before, the one that the type of people convicted of the type of crimes that she was convicted for usually stay in. The ones that are not transferred to the nicer facilities, obviously nicer being relative. Here's what Ghislaine Maxwell said to Todd Blanche. I think they were, regarding Donald Trump, I think they were friendly like people are in social settings. I don't think they were close friends, or I certainly never witnessed the president in any of, I don't recall ever seeing him in his house, for instance. I actually never saw the president in any type of massage setting. I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody. Again, this is what she told Blanche in July of this year. The emails between her and Epstein from 2011 suggest something different.
Totally different.
Seem to, at least.
Yeah, that's correct. And maybe she carefully worded that. She wasn't in the room, perhaps, when some of this was going on. But she certainly, look, she knows everything that happened. She is a very smart, shrewd woman, and she has the goods. I mean, she really does know what happened. So I think it's a little disingenuous of her to play as though she.
Oh, thanks for the Cash App. I forgot to say something. Somebody sent me a Cash App earlier. Yo, I appreciate that.
I mean,
Good
she's
looking
still
out.
saying she didn't even know Epstein was, abusing young girls or young women. So her whole testimony with Blanche was really, in some ways, suspect from the very start.
I guess there are two questions here, and Ken kind of touched on this. There's one, did Donald Trump himself do anything inappropriate? Was he involved with any of the women? And we haven't, and you correct me if I'm wrong, there has not yet been a woman saying that happened to her with the president. Virginia Giuffre never said that. And then the second question is, did he know about it, though? Was he aware of what was happening on that island, on those planes, what Jeffrey Epstein was doing with Ghislaine Maxwell?
Somebody said the president doesn't shut down but nobody shuts down the government. There's nothing called shut down the government. It's called not funding it. That's different. So you have the bills, which define what is supposed to happen, and then the next part of it is you pass the funding for that bill to release the money so it can take action, so it can be actionable, whatever monies are attached to those bills, right? And so by law, there has to be a supermajority. That's 2/3 of whatever group it is in the Congress first. And it could change. It depends on what's going on. But in this case, in the Congress, it had to be a supermajority. Anytime you're dealing with funding and it's the first act, it has to start off, I believe, with a supermajority, 2/3, right? Whether it's the Senate or whether it's the Congress. If it's the beginning of that, it has to be 2/3. So you already saw that play out. It didn't happen in Congress, so they took it over to the Senate and got 2/3. Now it's back to Congress for the simple majority. They don't need 2/3 anymore. They just need the majority. then that's happened yesterday, and now it's at the president's desk. But there's nothing called shut down the government. There's something called fund the government. And if you don't agree on the funding, it doesn't get funded. So Republicans did not want to negotiate with Democrats, but Republicans did not have the votes. See? So to get the votes that they needed, the supermajority, they needed some Democrats to agree. Trump told the Republicans, do not negotiate with the Democrats. So that is what created the shutdown. So when people say Trump is responsible for the shutdown, that's what they mean. So there you go. I just wanted to explain that, y'all.
Maxwell.
I saw somebody in the chat was saying something else.
And has he not been truthful
Do me a favor, click the like button, y'all. I appreciate it.
about that awareness since this exploded into the public domain? Julie.
Well, look, there was one woman, in fairness, there was one woman that filed a lawsuit in 2016 claiming that when she was 13 years old that she was raped by both Trump and Epstein. That there was never any evidence presented in it, and the woman just quietly went away, disappeared just days before the election. So we can't, and it was a court document. It was a court lawsuit that was filed. So there's been that out there in the domain, but no, there hasn't been any credible evidence presented that Trump was involved.
But what about what he knew and when?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What about what he knew about it? I mean, I guess that is a more relevant question here today.
Well, I think
somebody said she sounded like the female RFK.
I think that what
Who was that? Who the hell said that, y'all? That was Rupert. Oh my
these
God.
emails are showing, if nothing else, that he was part of Epstein's world very closely. The emails indicate that he was at Epstein's home. The emails seem to
She is like she's like the anti-RFK, the counter RFK. They had to drag somebody out with his voice just to get through to the maggots in people's brains and shit. Oh, you only believe this dumb motherfucker? Okay, we got one for you. We got the female version of her. Now listen up, y'all. Listen to what she got to say. I hope you believe her now.
Question here today.
Here she is, okay? Here's RFK's clone, female clone. Now listen to her.
Well, I think that what these emails are showing, if nothing else, that he was part of Epstein's world very closely. The emails indicate that he was at Epstein's home.
The male version lies. The female version tells the truth, all right?
The emails seem to indicate that, that he might even have damaging information about Trump. I mean, there's one email from the author.
Yeah, make Argentina great again, y'all.
Michael Wolff, which was written just
MAGA
before the election, where Wolff is sort of coaxing Epstein to tell the public what he knows because it would finish him, was the words that Wolff used. Now, Epstein was a fabulist. We know that he exaggerated a lot of things. So just because these are in these, some of this damaging information are in these emails doesn't make it true.
Let me just read that email. This is from Jeffrey Epstein again to the author Michael Wolff.
Somebody got the nerve to be in this chat talking about one picture doesn't prove anything. Someone is either way far behind. Didn't hear any shit in this show. Nothing else they done said. Nothing from last week. Nothing from the week before. Nothing. Just nothing. Nothing.
This is from December 15th, 2015. So it's 11 months, 11 months before the election.
We need to get the lady who was just speaking to talk to that person. Is just talk about the picture now. Talk about the other shit. Are you listening, dude?
He says, I hear CNN planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you, either on air or in a scrum afterwards. This is about a debate. And then Michael Wolff says, if we were able to craft an answer.
Okay, let me blow this up a little bit because just to make sure everybody can see this one. Yeah. Let me see what this says here. And hopefully you all can see it too. Here we go. Let's see here. Is this big enough? All right, here we go. Boom. All right, let's go.
For him on air or in a scrum afterwards. This is about a debate. And then Michael Wolff says, if we were able to craft an answer for him, Michael Wolff said that. And then Jeffrey Epstein says this, if we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? And then Michael Wolff responds with, I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you, or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. Of course, it is possible that when asked, he'll say Jeffrey is a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of...
Did Trump not say all of this shit that is being revealed in this email? Like, hold on. What does it have the dates? This is 2015. This is literally just before he went on TV and said this stuff, y'all. Damn. I mean, Trump said this shit verbatim.
I think you should let him hang himself if he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House.
So this shows that they actually was blackmailing him. Basically, that's what this implies, that Epstein and Maxwell were already blackmailing Donald J. Trump. Essentially, that's what this looks like.
And then that
sorry if some of y'all are ahead of me on this shit. I know some of y'all like, yeah, motherfucker, what you think? Yo.
gives you a valuable PR and political
I'm just watching the news though for the first time on all of this. You know what I'm saying?
currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you, or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. Of course, it is possible that when asked, he'll say Jeffrey is a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political correctness, which is about to be outlawed in a Trump regime. Julie, remind me exactly what was happening with...
Trump literally said every single thing that they're talking about in this email a year before he said it. Hold on. This is December. This is not even a year, y'all. That's December 2015. This is not even a year. This is way closer than a year. This is months. Maybe it's the same time, actually. Maybe it's just before he said it. I don't have the date, but I remember he was saying that leading up just around when he was president. He was saying this. He became president in 2016. So yeah, so this is months. This is like three months before, y'all. This is like 3 months before Trump was saying this on TV over the news in the U.S. while being president.
Jeffrey Epstein in this moment, was he getting renewed scrutiny? Was he about to be arrested again?
Well, this was when the lawsuits were also coming out against him and Trump. Remember, I just mentioned that woman who sort of went by the name Jane Doe and Katie Johnson. So there was this lawsuit, as I said, that was in the news at the time. So and the questions were just sort of swirling around him just because of the Access Hollywood tape and the Stormy Daniels event. So there were a lot of questions right around this time about, who he was involved with and what kind of sexual, accusations were being made at the time.
Yeah, just to be fair, this is from 2015. The Access Hollywood tape didn't come out until...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, a little bit later. But yeah, there were still at the time questions about Donald Trump and his propriety. I mean, they'd been...
He was on TV in 2016 saying everything that they just said. Everything. I'm pretty sure he was the president at that time when he was saying this stuff. Yeah, he was being stopped coming out the airplane, a helicopter, all of this shit. And some of them just how he goes in and out of the White House. They stop you after you land or before you taking off. He's been saying this stuff on tape before. And this is when he was president. And, if I'm wrong, forgive me. But I'm pretty sure I was hearing this, but let's
dogging him
see
for
what
years.
else.
They were definitely coming up during the campaign in those early days. There was the Megyn Kelly dust up just a couple months earlier, so it was definitely out there, those questions.
Well, and also I just want to add the other one from Michael Wolff, not the one you read. There's another one that he wrote that's similar, that uses the word. It was right around this time where he uses the word, "This could really finish Trump." So there's another email that wasn't part of the original 3 that were released where he is talking about this around the time of the election.
I mean, so listen, this kind of language, let's be clear. Put a 1 in the chat if this definitely to you sounds like blackmail language or blackmail, extortion. Put a 1 in the chat if this basically proves to you they were extorting Trump. To me, it proves they was extorting his ass. Like, you know, and it's likely not the only person extorting Trump at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, apparently it seems like Putin is extorting his ass. There's a news report that just came out, it's a real one, that says the Russians, somebody that was working with Russian Secret Service said that they have tapes on Trump with little girls too. That's what they're saying. I'm going to find the article. I already read the article. I already pulled it up, but I didn't cover it here online. But it's a real article. It's not from some shady spot. And they mention the person's name, you know. But, yeah, everybody, yeah, this seems definitely like straight up blackmail. So the next question is, damn, dude is dead, though. How many months? Let me just pause this right here and just switch over here. How many months into Trump's first presidency did Epstein die? Let me just see how many months that is. So it was 1 year after that, yo. It wasn't even a year. Look, Trump was not even, Trump was not even president a year, y'all, straight up. He wasn't even president a year, and then Epstein died. And listen, hold on. Let me see this one more time. Let me just make sure I'm getting this right. Oh, fuck. Did I just? Oh, okay. Here it is. Let me see. So that was January 20th, 2017. Okay. Now, those emails were from February 2015. Let me just go back. Boom. Where are they at? Where are those damn? Okay, right here. Let me see that again. What does that say? Boom. Just got to make it a little bigger, y'all. Sorry about that. This says December 2015. So this is a year and 2 months after. So, and this is before Trump was president, you see? So this is, y'all, all this shit happened in 1 year and 2 months time. Between these emails, between Maxwell and Michael Wolff, I'm sorry, between Michael Wolff and Epstein, I guess. Yeah. From that time, a year and 2 months after, Epstein was dead. And that same time, Trump became the president and was still friends with Epstein. And then 1 year after Trump was president, 1 year after Trump became president, 2000, let me see here. Let me bring it back. 1 year after Trump, that would be January 20th, 2017. So he became president, took office. Look at this. It's exactly 1 fucking year from when he took office. He took office January 20th, 2016. Epstein dies January 20th, 2017. Well, shit looked like murder to me. And I always thought, you know, I try to run the safe route. And to be safe, I just say, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a goddamn duck. So I've been saying it looks like his murder, bloody murder the whole time. Red rum, you know what I'm saying? But this is very freaky. I mean, how does a man commit suicide exactly 1 day after you took office? What the hell? I mean, okay. Alrighty. You know, now let's see what else is going on here. Damn, there's a lot to this. Let's see here. Let's go on. Boom. Let's see what else is going on.
Journalist as well. Tara, so the president just posted this on True Social. He says the Democrats are trying to bring up the Jeffrey Epstein hoax again because they'll do anything at all to deflect on how badly they've done on the shutdown and so many other subjects. Only a very bad or stupid Republican would fall into that trap. The Democrats cost our country $1.5 trillion with their recent antics of viciously closing our country, while at the same time putting many at risk, and they should pay a fair price. There should be no deflections to Epstein or anything else, and any Republicans involved should focus only on opening up our country and fixing the massive damage caused by the Democrats.
How many of you all want to stop the American Health Care Act? Just drop it and just receive $2,000 from the U.S. government a year to find your own insurance. How would you like that? Would you trade? If you would take that deal, say yes in the chat. If you wouldn't, say hell fucking no. I just want to know who the hell would take that deal. Yeah, you let me know.
How worried is the White House? How worried is the president about this?
Next thing you know, I'm going to ask you, what level of math did you even just pass math? Like 1 + 1? What the fuck?
Epstein stuff, these emails, and what could come.
Yeah, well, we know that when he says there's nothing going on there, that there are problems. And just last night, even before all of these emails leaked out, I was hearing that House members were talking about the fact that they could not, possibly vote nay on this one once the bill was actually on the floor. So there were already Republican members starting to break ranks. And I think these emails just apply more pressure, and you can see a really desperate White House that is responding that way. I mean, the New York Times is reporting that he's calling Lauren Boebert. He's calling Nancy Mace, who is running for governor in South Carolina, and would need his endorsement to clear the files.
Look, there's nothing more petty than, why don't you just step down, dude? He can't step down. That's the problem, because it looks totally criminal. It looks total criminal. To step down, it just looks like a motherfucker running from the scene of a crime. You know what I'm saying? Like, disappear from town. You know what I mean? So he can't. His only choice is to try to convince people that it ain't so. It's not what you think it is. He's This is just pathetic. This is just pathetic. But it does show you that, just because somebody is the president doesn't really mean any goddamn. Doesn't mean any. He could have the worst character traits of anybody. You know what I'm saying? He could have worse. I mean, let's be honest. Trump has worse character traits than 99% of American people. Just flat out. Like, he is gutter. Like, this is gutter. I mean, I've seen people get locked up for less. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people spend the rest of their life in jail for shit like this for just one time. You know what I'm saying? And this dude is implicated in all kinds of shit, and he's still on TV trying to convince people it's not what you think it is.
If there's nothing there, then show it. There's just so much mystery around it, too. And for so long, he said that it's a cabal of elitist Democrats. So they want to see that, too. I think that there is bipartisan desire for justice in this story, despite what he says. I just think that you're not hearing it from the loudest voices online anymore on the right, because they now work in his administration. They're Kash Patel, Pam Bondi.
Yeah, and they're at this point they're implicated, so they're hiding the shit too. So they just as foul, They just as foul. They're gonna have to fucking leave town. They will be hated by Americans, All right, let's see what else.
Push to hide the Epstein files has failed. The president of the United States mounting a last-minute campaign to try to turn Republicans who had signed on to release the complete Epstein files, but they defied him. And tonight, the motion moves forward to a full House vote.
Okay.
Something Speaker Johnson had delayed for nearly 2 months. Delayed this Epstein vote by nearly 2 months by refusing to swear in the newest member of Congress, Adelita Grijalva. And here's why. from the Republican who is leading the charge to release the Epstein files.
Do me a favor, click the like button, y'all. Thank you.
I've already had a couple Republicans tell my office privately that they're going to vote for it, and I think that could snowball.
Snowball. He's talking about the full vote, that tonight's move makes a reality, that vote is going to happen. He's talking about the full release of about 300 gigabytes of never-before-seen files about Jeffrey Epstein. And this comes as the House Oversight Committee today released a trove of explosive Epstein documents. Now, these new documents that we have show that Jeffrey Epstein was talking about President Trump multiple times in emails, despite Trump repeatedly denying he was in the Epstein files. Of course, we've long known that they were incredibly close friends, but Trump had denied he was in the files. Even after Attorney General Pam Bondi told Trump he was in the files, something, again, because of their friendship, he surely knew himself already, he continued to deny it.
Okay, so it appears that they're talking about releasing all of the files right now once this vote goes through. And they're saying that they have all the votes, that they pretty much have the votes lined up. So we'll see.
Tell you at all that your name appeared.
Again, because of their friendship, he surely knew himself already. He continued to deny it.
Did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file? No.
Well, she had.
You hear that?
And
No, she didn't tell me. Look, he can't help it. He can't help but to lie. And look at her face. Can y'all see her face? Hold on. Y'all can't see her face right here. Check this out. Look at her face when he's lying. Look at this. Hold on. Let me put them both inside of here. And he said, no, so fast. He didn't even think about the damn question, you know? But hold on. Boom. Is this right? Yeah, he didn't think about the damn question. Now look at this. Look at her face. Let's look at her eyes. I mean, you can pretty much see right there. She's not happy about what she's hearing. And this is why I don't know why people go out there just to lie on national TV, think they can you get a civil servant job. You get paid by the taxpayers. You're on TV. You really think you can lie to this many people? Like, do you really think you're just going to get away with lie after lie after lie after lie? And I think this is one of the more telling clips of Caroline Leavitt, you know, the dissatisfaction in what she's hearing, almost the physical admission of knowing that what is going on is really wrong, you know. But let's just look at her face while they ask this question. Look.
He continued to deny it.
Did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file? No.
You see her eyes at the last second?
He continued to deny it.
Did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file? No.
Well, she had.
Right.
And today.
So, yeah, she just looks like, I don't know why people do this. I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't do it. I'm the type of motherfucker that I will leave the job. I walk out. You know how many jobs I've walked out on because of less? You know what I'm saying? Like, really, I'm talking about jobs where it requires some integrity to do. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be working. Well, let me tell you something. If your job has anything to do with people, the safety of people, or government money working for the people, yo, I'm sorry. You have to know where the line is drawn for yourself, because you can fuck up your entire career being involved in corruption and government corruption, you know, on the state level or the federal level. You know, really. I mean, you can end up on trial on fucking TV for fraud, for being a part of a crime, you know, and she is there covering up pretty much. And, you know, I've never heard Caroline Leavitt say, listen, I don't know. I wasn't there. But to me, it appears like this, and this. She never does that. She literally goes out there and argues for Trump, like tries to defend him from shit that no one could even know. How can you defend somebody of some shit that you were not even there to even know if it's true or not? That makes no fucking sense. Like, who does that? A defense attorney doesn't even fucking do that. You know, and she's out there doing this. Like, a defense attorney might argue the alternative argument, but with this kind of thing, like, I don't know. She's not his defense. Is she his defense attorney, y'all? Is that what a White House press secretary job is? To be a defense attorney? You know, is it to literally defend somebody of this stuff? Why can't you just say that the charges are ludicrous? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but she don't look to be too happy, actually. You know, maybe she's gotten better at it.
Attorney General Pam Bondi was seen leaving the White House after a meeting with the FBI director, other top officials, and Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert in the Situation Room. Why Lauren Boebert called to the Situation Room? Well, because she is one of 4 Republicans in the House who signed on this petition today.
We're going to find out a lot. We're going to find out, is she going to buckle? Is she going to cave? Who's going to buckle or cave? But they're all going down. I mean, and this is a bad axe to fall on. I mean, you're going to fall on the molestation and sex trafficking of 1,000 goddamn girls? Is that what you're going to fall on? Blackmail of public figures, the sword of black men, and you know there's got to be low. If it was 1,000 victims, then how many times were the victims exploited and by who? How many Johns are there, if you could call them Johns, right? You get my point. How many people took part in this? Is it 2,000? Is it 3,000? I mean, what's her name? Giuffre said she had 5 different encounters with one individual, with I believe with just the prince alone, I think, something like that, right? So what is you do the math on that. You know, if all 1,000 of these victims had multiple encounters with different people, that's a whole lot of goddamn people. You know, I mean, why would anybody in their life want to fall on this sword? This is not one account. This is not 2. This ain't robbing a bank. This is not selling crack. I got caught selling a $10 crack rock. This is fucking sex trafficking of minors. 1,000 people. This is the worst. This way worse than all kinds of crimes. Yo, everything about you is on the line trying to defend this. You can never live defending this down in the public eye.
To release the full Epstein files. And Trump also played phone tag today with another one of the 4 Republicans, Congresswoman Nancy Mace, throughout the day. The reason is that Mace and Boebert's votes are crucial, as was the vote of Adelita Grijalva. She was actually the deciding vote on releasing the files. So, being closed for 2 months meant they didn't have the votes, not till she was sworn in. In fact, Epstein survivors were actually there in attendance for Congresswoman Grijalva's swearing in, because of how important she is to the Epstein files. But what the House has now, all of this new information that we're getting tonight, and it's new and important. It's important to mention it is only a minuscule fraction of what we are now one step closer to actually seeing. But in that minuscule fraction are important new details. And our reporters are still going through these new emails and documents that we have. But we know that they include exchanges like this one. Epstein emails now convicted accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell in part. Okay. I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked.
It's about to get more graphic than the last time when they went over these emails. I believe this one is talking about some Hawaiian girl. I'm pretty sure this is it. The other one didn't say that, but so let me just pull this up here. Boom. Let me know if y'all can see this.
Is Trump. Redacted spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Maxwell responds, I have been thinking about that. And in June 2019, after Trump made a state visit to the United Kingdom, where he was welcomed by none other than the former Prince Andrew, Epstein wrote to Trump's former White House strategist Steve Bannon, quote, Prince Andrew and Trump today, too funny. Recall Prince Andrew's accuser came out of Mar-a-Lago, to which Bannon replied, "Can't believe nobody is making that connective tissue."
Let me see something. I'm not sure if y'all can see this. Can y'all see it now? Let me see here. Okay.
Can't believe nobody is making that connective tissue. Now, Trump, of course, has not been accused of any wrongdoing in connection with Epstein's crimes. But the president responded on social media today, and I quote, "The Democrats are trying to bring up the Jeffrey Epstein hoax again because they'll do anything at all to deflect on how badly they've done on the shutdown and so many other subjects." Of course, as always, when he calls it a hoax, it is important to point out that raping underage girls and being a registered sex offender for pedophilia is not a hoax.
I mean, isn't this an admission of guilt? Like the way he responds to that, like he calls the whole thing a hoax. Meanwhile, there was 50 women on the steps of the Capitol that said it's not a hoax. I mean, this is what I mean. Like people are still paying this guy a check to be president. Like you don't need evidence, any more evidence to impeach him. Look, if there's any doubt whatsoever of any form of corruption, and it's this serious, he's supposed to be out of there already. People have been out of there of less. You see what I mean? I mean, they had Bill Clinton impeached, and he was like, he was like, he didn't even do that one act. He didn't have sexual relations that one time. Nothing. No, not at all. And he got impeached. You see what I mean? And this is like 1,000 people and Trump, and then the 50 come to the Capitol and Trump is like, it's a hoax. And he's the one who actually got him, Jeffrey Epstein, locked up for the hoax. You know, it's like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, you know. I'm sorry. This is too much for me. I don't see how any. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm exaggerating right now, or I'm a little. I know. There's rules and there's law and all of this shit, but I'm sorry. Like, they're trampling all over people's minds, you know, sanity with this. It's like there's not supposed to be one senator, one congressperson that doesn't want this motherfucker out of there. You don't have to be guilty to be impeached in the first fucking place. You know, what is this? What is it? All it has to do is look bad. That's it. All it has to be is a couple of little things. This is way more than enough shit to impeach him. You know, like, I don't get it. Try his ass later for a crime, but impeach you could do now. You don't have to. There doesn't have to be no proved trial before you impeach him. There doesn't have to be 100% goddamn evidence. You know, indisputable. What is the indisputable evidence you want? He doesn't want the shit released. And see, that's the thing. If there's indisputable evidence and there's said to be photographs and other and more interesting material, why do you need to even see it anymore? To me, this is just folks need to be upset about every elected official that is not saying impeach right now. Like, straight up, like, this is bullshit.
Jeff Zeleny is out front at the White House to begin our coverage tonight. Jeff, what more are you learning about this extraordinary pressure campaign that the White House is mounting on Republicans voting to release the Epstein files? They're not really even trying to keep it secret at this point.
Well, the White House actually sought to explain this away as
Trump's DOJ did an unusual interview with Maxwell and didn't ask obvious questions or, and this is new today, use basic corroboration of exactly this evidence. These revelations show how former Trump criminal defense attorney and now number 2 at DOJ, Mr. Blanche, how they operated. You have this 2011 email. Epstein writes that this redacted victim spent hours at Epstein's house with Trump. Maxwell says, I've been thinking about that. And yet Blanche failed to use or reference basic evidence. Prosecutors pull emails, texts, and a heck of a lot more. So while I can't tell you what's in the DOJ's evidence room because they haven't released it, I can tell you this is exactly the kind of thing they would have and they failed to use. Take a listen.
Did you ever hear Mr. Epstein or anybody say that President Trump had done anything inappropriate with masseuses or with anybody in your world?
Absolutely never, in any context.
Okay, so Trump's former lawyer, this is where all norms have been breached. All norms. We don't have a Justice Department anymore. We have a Trump Department of let's protect Trump. We have inexperienced and unqualified people as U.S. attorneys. The second in command at the DOJ, as well as the first, are just completely Trump lawyers. They are not our lawyers anymore. So that is how I would take the deposition of a friendly witness who I knew was going to help my case. That is not seeking evidence. That is not seeking truth. And why would he? He's Trump's lawyers. He's not our lawyers. None of them are. Habaz's not our lawyer.
Is that a misuse of the Justice Department?
Yes, it's definitely a misuse. And our taxpayer dollars are paying for it. I mean, we need like a blue state tax strike or something to take back our government. It's going to take something big to stop this train because the people he's put in power. How did Acosta become labor secretary?
Who cut the first sweetheart deal? Yeah.
Yes, and Trump made him labor secretary. So now that certainly raises some questions right now. I mean, it has before too, and he had to, after New York finally indicted Epstein, Acosta had to resign because it was so clear that he violated the law in a secret agreement that violated the Crime Victims Protection Act.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. I mean, there's been too many exceptions made along the line, and nothing's been done on the victims' behalf. None of these victims, nothing's been done. I mean, don't you find that shameful? I mean, what if this is, how many of you have kids? Put a 1 in the chat if you got kids, and then let me know how would you feel if this happened to your child and the whole fucking you had all this evidence, all the same evidence that's out there, emails, all kinds of shit, and then the police are just still sitting there like, yeah, but we need 100% proof evidence. We don't have evidence. Like, this shit is shameful. What the fuck? You want this to happen to your child, your family member? This is outrageous. This is outrageous. I'm sorry. There's no way that this motherfucker wouldn't be going to jail off of this. You could go to jail off of this in some goddamn states. They have all this evidence on you. Like, what the? I'm sorry. All you need is 12 jurors. And enough evidence to convict them. You don't need the murder weapon, really. You don't. It's people that go to jail without the murder weapon. Did you know that? Yeah. All the fucking time. All the time. That's been happening forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. You can't think in order to solve a crime, the only way you can do it is if you get the murder weapon all the time. Like, people are sitting up here saying, we have to have the video with Trump in the act. Why? At this point, why? Why do you need that at this point? Come on, the dude has been caught hiding every goddamn thing. The dude has been caught saying all kinds. I mean, sure, more stuff would be cool, but the very person that could release more stuff is him. So, to me, it just seems like a wrap already. I don't know what they're waiting for. And again, to impeach a president, he doesn't need to be found guilty. That has nothing to do with Congress and the Senate. That's what happens when you go to a federal court. But the Congress and Senate is not a federal court. The bar is much lower to impeach people. You don't have to know. You don't have to be convicted to be impeached. It just has to fuck up the reputation of the United States of America. It just has to look goddamn fucked up and bad. Like, which anyway, is to be outlawed. This is Michael Wolff, because people are asking him, wow, it seems like in these emails, like you're kind of trying to get Epstein to blackmail Trump. So he's responding to this.
In a Trump regime.
Let's remember the entire context here.
Okay, but what I want to say is in this particular email, it sounds like you're advising a convicted pedophile about what to do, and you're colluding with him against a potential.
Well, I don't know. What emails sound like. Would one have rewritten them in hindsight? Of course.
Yeah, I think it's crazy people would actually have the nerve. They don't know what a journalist is. Like, in any case, here's his explanation.
I don't know. What emails sound like. Would one have rewritten them in hindsight? Of course. Emails always are. Oh, that's embarrassing. But remember what's going on here. I am in this. I am where no one else is. I am in proximity to a story which actually most people don't see at this point.
So in these emails, what strikes me is that you're frequently giving advice to Jeffrey Epstein about how to handle the media, how to use the media. Were you his media advisor?
No, he had. And given the fact of how badly he has managed the media over the course of his long difficulties, I would not want credit for that in any way. But this was always a major thing. And this was actually, part of the reason, part of my entree here, that I knew about the media. That gave me the kind of cachet that got me a place at the table, which has gotten me the Epstein story, if anyone wanted to pay attention.
Right, so this is 2015.
Yeah, I'm the person who sees this elemental story. Donald Trump, and I've gone through this with Epstein deep into the background, Donald Trump is the best friend of, evil. He is the best friend of a deeply, deeply diabolical person, a person who is involved in, we now know what he's involved in.
1,000 women trafficking, 1,000 girls, buried back and
this is the gist of it right here. You don't, once you establish, this has already been established, essentially. What has been going on, you don't need to know the rest of it to know that what is going on here is exactly what he is describing. You don't have to go through every little detail. You don't have to know all thousands of accounts. You don't have to know every bank account that got broken into. You don't have to know every victim that there was and exactly how they got it down and did it and all of that to know that it is this, though, what he's describing.
Deep into the background, Donald Trump is the best friend of, evil.
He's the best friend of evil.
He is the best friend of a deeply, deeply diabolical person.
Best friend of a deeply, deeply diabolical person. I'm sorry. He's not mincing words here. Diabolical and best friend of evil is not what you want as a fucking president.
A person who is involved in, we now know what he's involved in.
1,000 women trafficking, 1,000 girls,
and
buried back and.
He's the best friend of this activity. He's the closest person in proximity, basically, is what that means. And so, in my mind, people only know 20, 30%. Whatever is the other 70, 80% is probably devastating. It's probably devastating. That's how my mind works when I think about this. My inductive reasoning tells me that there's way, way more worse shit to be found out about what's going on. And it implicates Trump, and also maybe in ways that you never thought before also. because this man is saying he's the best friend of a diabolically evil person. That means you need to be prepared for all types of crazy shit. Like, and if you, I'm gonna put it to you this way: none of you motherfuckers in the chat would survive these people. Like Trump and Epstein, they would spit your ass out. They would have offered you a couple bucks to work at their little place and all this shit, and then you would be all fucked up. And when they don't need you anymore, they just fire your ass and get another person. That's how they would treat the average person, and me too, right? Anybody that's looking for a check, which a lot of people are looking for a check. You know what I'm saying? I would take a check until I see some foul shit, and then I'd walk the fuck out, right? But this is on another level. These people will death threaten you. They have security. These are not regular average people. Like, you can disappear fucking around with people like this. Before he got in the White House, I mean, listen, three of Trump's top executives, the top executives of each casino that he had, 3 different casinos. He was supposed to meet them one day and had them all go meet him at a helicopter. When they got there, they was like, "Where's Donald Trump?" He called. This is alleged. He called, but it's accounted for by by another individual. This has been reported in the news, but don't quote me verbatim. But it's 80% just exactly like this. The basis of it is the same. They got to the helicopter. Donald Trump wasn't there. He calls and said, "Hey guys, there's been a change. I'm caught up somewhere else, but I'm on the way to the location. Just get in the helicopter and meet me there." These 3 executives from 3 casinos, they got on that helicopter, and that fucking helicopter crashed, and everybody died. This is around the same time that they allege he was getting money washed by, he was washing Russians' money. Around the same time in the late 89, 90s, something like that, late 80s, 90s. You see what I'm saying? I think it's the late 80s, if you're asking me, 89, something like that. I believe that. But check it out for yourself. Bad shit has been going on around this dude for a long time, but he has a lot of money. And I don't know how many of you see how easy it is for criminals with billions of dollars, people that's dealing with crime and the billions of dollars, to get away with a whole lot of shit. Way more shit than you would ever get away with your, $100 salary. Like, seriously, let alone your $20,000, $30,000 salary. You see what I'm saying? You would never get away with nothing. You see, these people buy power, and that's the implication of these Epstein files. I mean, who is it that said this? You know what? I don't have the clip right now. But I do have it. We've seen it plenty of times here. If you go into some of my older videos, right? They were telling the victims, when they interviewed the victims, this is before Epstein was arrested in New York, right? This was back when he was in Florida. When they were first investigating him in Florida, they had like 40 different victims that they took depositions from. But many of them were saying flat out that Ghislaine Maxwell was telling the victims the reason why the victims weren't talking, why it took so long for them to talk, and why many wouldn't talk, is because what they were telling them is that they own the police, they own the DA, they own the FBI. Seriously. So you got to put this into perspective when you think about this. You see what I mean? Like, these are not average people. You can't get them for a regular crime. You see? Like, straight up. So this is the kind of cover that they had when they were doing these acts.
So what I understand at this point,
allegedly,
is that Donald Trump may become the president of the United States. And this is still in 2015 an iffy proposition. But nevertheless, a possible president of the United States has been involved for well more than 10 years, has been joined at the hip with this person, has been involved in both of these men, in every aspect of each other's lives.
He's trying to tell you, without getting sued, that Donald Trump was a part of all this shit Epstein was a part of. All of it. That's what he's trying to tell people. And you can't say it any other way, because then you could be, before they release all the files and shit like that, he could be liable. But the reason why he could tell people this much is because he interviewed both of them and for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, maybe hundreds of hours. And all the interviews were audio recorded. So anything that he says Trump said in an interview is in audio tape. Anything that he says happened, that Epstein did this when I met with him, it's on audio. That's why they haven't taken his ass out yet, because he got audio tapes himself. We talking about hundreds of hours. You see what I mean? So you may not believe him, but you have to think, why hasn't Trump sued him then? And the answer is simple, because the motherfucker, what he's talking about is true, and he got it on tape. That's why. If I record you and you go out lying to public saying that I said this and this and this when I met you, and then I have the audio tape, even if I recorded it without telling you, if I have that audio tape, it will be admitted into evidence. You see what I mean? And you will be liable for fraud, for lying. So that applies to Michael Wolff too. That's why Trump has never tried to sue him. Have you heard of Trump try to sue him? Come on, Trump will sue a motherfucking frog. He'll sue a roach. You know what I'm saying? He'll sue a damn, a cocktail at a bar. He'll sue a cup of coffee. Trump don't give a damn. He'll sue the damn fish. You know what I'm saying? But he won't sue this guy.
Sharing girlfriends in their financial lives. Now, this is to me, and this is a moment which
hasn't sued this dude. I wonder why that is. Is it because he's lying? If Trump didn't sue Michael Wolff because Michael Wolff is lying, put a 1 in the chat. If that makes no motherfucking sense, put a 2 in the chat, please.
I think we ought to pause, because I think we're very close to the smoking gun. This is what is not only implied in my emails, but in other emails. That
look, somebody had the nerve to write, he's saying this. Somebody put a 1. Yeah, he's saying all of this. Trump didn't sue him because he's lying. That makes no sense. So, I mean, I don't know what you up to, Lori, but in any case, let me show you, because I don't care if somebody is where you come from or whatever that is, but I'm gonna put you in timeout, because that's you're just not even keeping it real. You know what I mean? Come on, just don't even. You don't even have to answer. Hold on. What did she do? Did she do that on accident? Oh, Lori wrote it on accident. Okay, maybe she got confused. Let me take that back. Damn, let me take that back. How do I do that? Sorry about that, Lori. I'm gonna get you back.
Epstein has sent.
And by the smoking gun, what do you mean?
Well, the relationship, and remember, Donald Trump has denied this relationship. Oh, Epstein, passed him in the hall.
Well, he's calling it a democratic hoax again. He just
which
hoax.
Of course he will. He's called it again and again. Everything is a hoax. Everything in his life he doesn't like is a hoax. But the smoking gun is obviously has Donald Trump been involved with Jeffrey Epstein and underage girls. Did Donald Trump know about Jeffrey Epstein's that the underage girls in and out of Epstein's house? Now, I have spoken here and in many other places about the photographs that I have seen, and Epstein in one of these emails confirms or says Trump knew about the girls, and he damn well did. I have seen the pictures of the girls, of again, a dozen snapshots, 3 of which I vividly remember, 2 with topless girls sitting on Donald Trump's lap.
Okay, there's another one I wanted to read to you here, which was came out in October of 2016, so just before he was being elected. There's an opportunity to come forward this week and talk about Trump in such a way that could garner you great sympathy and help finish him. Interested?
One of the things that I was focused on is trying to get Epstein to come forward. Why don't you go public with these pictures? Why don't you go public? Let me help you go public in telling your story about Donald Trump. I mean, I saw then, as I have continued to see and see every day now, that Donald Trump was unfit to be the president of the United States.
So Blue Sky and X and social media is full of journalists just saying this is completely unacceptable. This is not how you speak to a source.
Let me see here. I'm going to get Lori back. Sorry about that, Lori. I'm going to get you back. Yeah, I see you actually made that comment twice and you put a 2 in the chat. But listen, I'm going to move forward right now to close this up. I just wanted to wrap this up. We almost there, but let me keep it going so we can see. Actually, these 2 cats right here, they've been in front of the entire push for the release of the Epstein files. And if they weren't actually doing their job, this is one Republican and one Democrat, right? And so let's see.
Conference with Ro Khanna and I, and that's what we're fighting for, justice for them.
Did y'all talk to them at any point during this, as the White House was making clear they were targeting these members?
I talked to them. I don't want to say which one I had this conversation with, but one of them was told, we can't let Massey have a win. How petty is that? I mean, this is more than about political wins. It's about getting transparency and justice, which, by the way, this administration promised. You have the vice president, J.D. Vance, you have the AG, you have the FBI director. They've all done a 180 on this.
So the White House said to one of these members that they didn't want you to have a win here.
That's correct.
I mean, what does that say to you, Congressman Ro Khanna, as to the White House's motivation here? I mean, I think so many people look at this and say, why is the White House fighting this as hard as they are, and taking Lauren Boebert into the Situation Room, which is incredibly unusual based on my experience covering the White House?
They've really lost their way, because it was really Donald Trump, and more than Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, who in podcast after podcast said, release the Epstein files. And I give credit, of course, to the courage of Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mace, and Lauren Boebert. They met with the survivors. It was personal. But I also give credit to Congressman Thomas Massey. I mean, he's got 3 billionaires literally pouring millions of dollars in his race against him to take him out simply because he wants these files released, which the president campaigned on. And you know what? The left and right are agreeing on one thing. It's time to get rid of the Epstein class, these rich and powerful people who rig the rules for themselves and ignore forgotten Americans.
So how many Republicans do you think are going to vote for this next week when Speaker Johnson brings it to a vote?
I think there's going to be a deluge of Republicans. The longer this goes on, the more support we gain. And I think the Speaker recognized that, and that's why after months of trying to stop us, he's decided to accelerate the vote, because he knows we're going to get votes, and that's going to carry momentum into the Senate. And that's why it's important to get a big vote in the House for Roe and I on this measure, is because that's where it goes next, is the Senate.
Yeah, so what happens here when it goes, if it passes and it does have that deluge of Republicans? I know you said today you thought 40 to 50 could potentially vote for it. Is that right?
Well, I think the Speaker's concluded if you can't stop the parade, you might as well lead it. And so now he's saying, I want to have the vote. I do think that you could get 30, 40, 50 Republicans voting for it, because what are we talking about? We're talking about rich and powerful men who abused young girls and told people in junior high to go recruit others to be raped or abused. That's what we're talking about. And we're saying that these victims want to expose the men who did this to them. Some of these men still have buildings named after them. Some of them still have scholarships named after them. Enough. And so I think when it's actually a vote on the House floor, do you want these files released? Republicans and Democrats are going to vote yes.
So what does it say if that happens and there are that many people who are in the House who vote for it and the Senate doesn't take it up?
Well, you know, we used a discharge petition. This is a parliamentary procedure that's only available in the House. It's only been successful maybe 20 times in the history of our country. Like, we had a 4% probability, if you look at statistics, of getting this to the floor, but we succeeded. In the Senate, They don't have a discharge petition, but they do have other ways. Each senator is almost like their own rules committee over there. And by being dilatory or accelerating the process for other senators, they can cajole them into getting votes. And I think we could see a vote on this in the Senate.
Why do you think the president keeps calling it a hoax, as he did again today? And he basically said no real Republicans, no good Republicans that aren't stupid or.
All right, Lori, let me know if you can get back in the chat now. Sorry about that. If it didn't work, I tried to add you back, but if it doesn't work, you're going to be back in 24 hours. No problem. Maybe it chimes out that way, but I did find your name in the back of the system, so I tried to cancel that. So just let me know if hopefully I did it correctly. But in any case, let's hear what they're saying.
Bad.
Yeah.
And he basically. Why do you think the president keeps calling it a hoax, as he did?
Exactly. Why do you think Trump keeps calling it a hoax? Now, everybody in the chat, why do you think Trump keeps calling it a hoax? You let me know too, and then we're going to hear what the rep says.
Did again today. And he basically said no real Republicans, no good Republicans that aren't stupid or bad would fall for this trap.
It's sad to me because I actually didn't do this to score points against Donald Trump. I know Representative Massey didn't do it for that reason. We did it because we heard the stories of these survivors and we want justice for them. They're going to be out in front of the Capitol again on Tuesday. They were out about 2 months ago. And my guess is they're going to say the same thing. Mr. President, please meet with us. Listen to us. You can actually release these files. And I rather Donald Trump do the right thing, even if he gets a political win, than for us to go on ignoring women who have been abandoned before Trump's presidency. These women have not had justice for decades.
So you're saying it's bigger than.
Right. You know, now I'm going to ask again, because I see a lot of messages. Somebody said no evidence. If this happened to you or any of your kids or family members, and they had all this shit that you hear everybody talking about day after day, leaked mail, this person says that person says this, that person on the videotape actually come out and saying the shit, right? You know, you would still say the same thing. There's no evidence. Who said that? Jose said there's no evidence. No evidence. Is that if somebody in your family got sex trafficked, right? And all the same shit that they saying about the people who sex trafficked, all this information keeps leaking. Would you want everybody to say, yeah, there's no evidence, Jose? No evidence. It's just a dude. It's just a dude on your daughter. It's just your daughter on video accusing the man. That's it. But we don't have no evidence. Is that what you want us to say, Jose? Is that what you want us to say, Jose? I mean, look, hold on. Let me see something. Let me pull this up real quick. I don't understand people sometimes. Like, you don't have to defend somebody being accused of rape. You do know that, Jose, right? Like, you do know that makes you look real stupid because, again, you don't know if he did or didn't because you wasn't there, right? It's like, what the hell? But listen, Katie Johnson, right? Isn't that her name? Katie Johnson and Donald Trump. I don't know why you doing this, man. Let me see here. I don't know why you have to like into
this interview on my
take
free
it
will.
so personal, right? And defend somebody you don't even know. First of all, you don't even know Donald J. Trump. So what the hell are you talking about? Secondly, you weren't there, even if you did know him. And thirdly, this is such an ugly accusation. Wouldn't you want him to defend his goddamn self? Like, what would you? I'm gonna be honest. If all this shit,
into this interview
if there's anybody I know accused, and all this shit is coming out, you motherfucker, I ain't going public defending no person like that. What the? That's just fucking up my reputation. I gotta go to work tomorrow and shit. I'm out here defending people I don't even know. Here's the lady who said Donald J. Trump did it, assaulted her 4 different times when she was 13 years old.
Oh, there was nothing promised to me for doing this interview.
Excellent.
Yes, everything that I say at this interview will be the truth. I met Donald Trump at some.
Hold on, here we go.
No, there was nothing promised to me for doing this interview.
Excellent.
Yes, everything that I say at this interview will be the truth. I met Donald Trump at some parties I attend that I was working for Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. There was about 3 or 4 times that I had encounters with Donald Trump. I was 13. The first time that I met Donald Trump was at a party at Jeffrey Epstein's mansion. We were
Now, sorry, it's about to get graphic, so I'm just going to play it for a second. I'm just warning you, if you're not up to hear something graphic, you may not want to listen to this woman's deposition, right? Okay, so.
There was an orgy going on, and he was kind of watching off in the distance. And he basically asked if I could come over and give him a hand job. And at first, I wasn't very comfortable with it. This was like my first party, and I didn't think that was my responsibility. But my recruiter told me that I needed to do it, so I agreed to. And then he, I began to. Sorry, this is a little difficult, but before I gave him a hand job, he kind of slapped my hand away and said, "You need to use a glove." And the recruiter ran over and handed me a glove and said, "No one touches Mr.
Some people asking why is her face blurred out. Listen, but I could see you. Some of you all haven't been really watching my videos because a couple months back I was playing the raw footage every other day. You know what I'm saying? So and that one, it's just I didn't want to go through all my clips. This is just what's public. Another version, same thing she's saying. It's just another copy of it, right? Where these people decided to blur her face out. But the one that I have and I've been playing, it doesn't have her face blurred out. But let's be honest. For you people that care about that, a lot of times, or that are in doubt about her, nothing that she could say would ever convince you of anything anyway. Don't you know that it's something called misogynist? And misogynists hate women. They don't need a reason to hate them. It doesn't matter what they say. No excuse will ever be good enough because it's a woman and that person hates women. So no woman gotta break her ass for you to convince you of something. What the fuck? You see what I mean? So, I mean, you don't have to, nobody begging you to believe her. You're on the internet. You making a goddamn
glove. So I needed to use a glove. I gave him a hand job. And then immediately after, he had an orgasm, he left and I didn't see him again at that party. Jeffrey Epstein is a billionaire friend of Donald Trump's that was responsible for throwing the sex parties. I originally came to New York trying to be a model, and in my travels, I met a girl named Tiffany there.
Look, somebody said, well, if he hates women, but he's married to one, you sound like no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the person that will listen to this woman and be like, I don't believe her. Where's the evidence? She's talking about Donald Trump. Show me the evidence. Why are you taking a side? Only a misogynist would do that. That's what I'm saying. See, I'm calling Jose a misogynist, essentially. Or I'm saying it looks like misogyny. It looks like no matter what any woman would say, you wouldn't believe her because that's what misogyny is. If you hate women, you wouldn't believe her. I'm not saying you had to do it. It's plenty of misogynists that don't rape women, but they damn sure still hate them. They damn sure still give them a hard time in life with anything. The sexual assault is bad enough. What if it's just sexual harassment? Misogynists do that. You hate women when you sexually harassing them, when you don't respect them, period. Okay? And you should be careful because if you do have a real identity, then one day you might even have kids right now. What about the person who knows who you are on the internet and is looking at your comments, Jose, and is like, damn, this dude got a kid and he talking like that? Like, yo, some of y'all are full of shit, man. You should think about it. If you're not somebody off in some foreign country somewhere, like just trolling for the hell of being trolling. If you're actually a real person where people know you and know your hashtag and you got kids, you should be careful about what you say.
Who was very interested in me and said that, she...
In any case, she has alleged this in her deposition, and this was quite some time ago. This is back when the Florida thing was kicking off, you see? And this never made it. This never made it that far. Hold on, let me see something. Is that... This is 2016. I'm sorry. This is not when... This is not... Hold on, let me see here. Katie Johnson, under the pseudonym Jane Doe, filed a lawsuit in 2016 alleging that Donald Trump and her financier, Jeffrey Epstein, sexually assaulted her in 1994. Right. So these events, when it happened, she's saying it happened in 1994, right? When she was 13 years old. And the complaint claimed that Epstein lured her to parties in Manhattan where she was coerced into sexual acts by both men. So let me ask you this. When she implicates Epstein, do you believe her or do you think she's lying? Let's leave Trump out of this now, Jose. Do you believe her when she implicates Epstein, or are you going to defend Epstein too? You see, you people are just weird, man. You embarrass yourself on the internet. Like, really.
That's what she did. In
any case, so people got the gist of that. There was an actual real complaint against Trump, an actual real deposition that happened, an actual real lawsuit that happened. And the woman said, hey, man, she's getting death threats, and it's destroying her life. And she just wanted peace. Disappeared.
Than Donald Trump.
It's much bigger than Donald Trump.
Because the White House is saying this is something Democrats didn't talk about when Joe Biden was in office, which we've asked you about before, and said that that's the whole motivating factor here. But you say that that's not the case for you either?
No, and I think Roe can go back and find examples where he talked about these files. I can go back in my social media and show you examples where I talked about these files needing to be released before President Trump was the president. And I don't think it's about Trump.
Yep. And they didn't do anything. That's terrible. Supreme Court gave him a pass. What's the judge down there in Florida? She gave him a pass by delaying it and doing all of this. What's her name? What's the judge in Florida that Trump wanted? I forget her name. Starts with a C. Right. But in any case, yeah, let's keep going.
I looked at
also,
those.
so did President Trump, for the record.
Yes, he did, for the record.
And J.D. Vance.
Yeah, and members of the cabinet.
Somebody said Jose has never known a woman. Exactly. Jose might actually be a woman. You never know. Shit. What the
I looked at those emails there, and I don't think that implicates Trump.
You gotta remember, folks be catfishing this shit out here on the internet, yo.
More than he's already been implicated. And I don't think he's trying to protect himself per se. I think he's beyond embarrassment. Look, I was in an oversight committee when we were arguing, should he have paid the prostitute he had an affair with through campaign funds, or should he have used his personal funds?
Exactly. Did folks forget about Michael Cohen in the porn star? Like, damn. Yeah, it was Cannon, right? Eileen Cannon. Yeah, good looking out, Wild Heart. Yeah. This is crazy, right, Game TV? This is crazy. Yeah, user. Damn, who is that? User something, blah, blah, blah. It's Judge Cannon. Right, exactly. This is ridiculous. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. There's more than enough evidence. Somebody in the chat said, where's the evidence? It's like, where's the evidence? Bro, whoever said that, if it was you, it wasn't a billionaire being accused of this, your ass would be up under the jail. What the hell? You better be aware. They've locked people up and sent them to jail for life for much less evidence. What you talking about? You think everyone that goes to jail, they had direct evidence that they had the gun? You think everybody going to murder is because they found a murder weapon?
He's beyond embarrassment. That's what these files
anyway
could present.
Just you don't go out and try the same shit, okay?
To him, I think there are people who are criminally implicated that aren't Donald Trump, but they may be his friends, and I think that's who's.
Bow. He thinks there's people that are criminally implicated, and that is Donald Trump's friends. Facts.
So you think he's just trying to cover up for other people?
for other people, and also probably for our own intelligence agencies.
But when you read that email from the 2011 email that Jeffrey Epstein wrote to Ghislaine Maxwell, who is obviously serving her sentence right now, and he says that Trump is the dog that hasn't barked, I wonder what you read into that.
I think he's.
All right,
I mean,
so let me
AI
see
will
here.
create more millionaires.
Let me take care of this. Somebody spamming the chat, man. What is this? Yeah, okay, just time them out 24 hours. Or you could just block them if you want. They keep writing in the chat, Tia. Time them out for 24 hours if you can. All right, so
5
let's
years
go
when the
on
internet
here.
did.
What's up next? Let me see here. Yeah, this is ugly. Oh, okay,
Why
wait.
haven't they asked Trump anything? Why hasn't Trump spoken? But, you know, the reason this cuts right at Trump's
Hold
message is
on.
people
Wait a
knew.
second. There's something about a Hawaiian girl. That's the one I'm waiting for. Something about a Hawaiian girl. Let me take it back. Let's take it back.
But when you read that email from the 2011 email that Jeffrey Epstein wrote to Ghislaine Maxwell, who is obviously serving her sentence right now, and he says that Trump is the dog that hasn't barked, I wonder what you read into that.
I think he's probably saying that.
Okay, this is the same one. Okay, it must be one other. It's one coming up. Let me get to that one. I'm gonna just hear what they had to say about this.
Why haven't they asked Trump anything? Why hasn't Trump spoken? But, you know, the reason this cuts right at Trump's message is people knew he wasn't perfect when they elected him. People knew he had a lot of things in his past, but he promised, he said, look, I may not be perfect, but I'm going to take on the corrupt elite. I'm going to take on these people who just pay off politicians and have impunity and are shafting.
Yeah, MAGA has just said fuck crime. We don't want nobody stopping any crime anymore. No, nothing, especially nothing involving sex trafficking, blackmail, stealing money out of the treasury, no direct payments, no bank accounts, nothing like that. Just cold cash money going to fucking people in the Trump administration or representatives. No investigations about money crimes or trafficking crimes. Zero. That's what MAGA went from standing for go get them all to don't get none of them. None. We don't even want the people who were a part of the sex trafficking money exchanges, none of the crypto companies, just nothing. We don't want none of that. We're against all of that. We're going to pardon every single person involved in anything like that, any crime. And then even the people that were arrested and convicted and tried, right, by courts of their own peers for January 6th, and killed, actually some officers died. These people that he pardoned went out and raped again, and killed again, and did whatever crimes again. Literally, this is what's going on, and this is what MAGA is out there every day defending. Every single day, they're defending the same shit over and over and over. And I just can't wait till it's over. I can't wait till it's over. I really hope they throw every single person involved in jail and track down every single fucking crime, prosecute every person involved, period. Every single person, and guess what? 350 million people paying taxes gets you that kind of prosecution. Look, you already saw Trump try to fire all kinds of prosecutors. That's because he don't want to be prosecuted. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? They all getting hired back as soon as he's gone. It's that simple.
And now he's become part of Washington, and people are like, what happened to him? Why has he become part of the swamp that he said
why, MAGA? Why? What happened to Trump? Why? Why has he become part of the swamp?
he would drain? People are like, what happened to him? Why has he become part of the swamp that he said he would drain? And so, in my view, what would redeem...
Tell me, MAGA, why has he become part of the swamp now? Huh? Can you tell me? Yeah, he's very swampy. He's very swampy, Trump.
After months of...
He liked the swamp actually. He was all like, fuck the swamp. And then when he got in there, he was like, nah, the swamp's kind of good, man. Weather in the swamp is perfect.
Dragging this out is to release the files. For the life of me, I don't understand why he just doesn't release the files, and let's have the left and the right come together to say enough with the Epstein class. They need to go.
Yeah, and
I could be wrong, but I look at that email and about dogs barking. It's cryptic. Maybe they suspected he was going to inform on them. I don't know.
Okay, so you're saying there could be other interpretations.
Yeah.
I do want to clarify.
Yeah, he's goading Trump. He's saying, come on, Trump, at least make that argument, man. Come on, say something about the email. He ain't going to say a damn thing about it. It's over. But Trump is a narcissist, so he can't help it. So, look, the real funny part about this is every day Trump is the president, he has to go outside past the cameras. And a narcissist cannot resist the cameras and the attention and must comment. Must. A narcissist can't help but to resist the feeling of needing to convince you that it ain't what it seems.
Something which I'm not sure is I've clarified before, but Stormy Daniels isn't a prostitute.
Trump is going to bury himself. I'm quite sure Trump is going to say something on public TV that's going to let you know 100% that he did it. It's going to be something he could never take back just because that's what they do.
Porn star that alleged to have slept with the president at the center of that. Stormy Daniels saying there could be a prostitute. She's a porn star. Clarify something which I'm not sure is I've clarified before, but Stormy Daniels isn't a prostitute. She's a porn star that alleged to have slept with the president at the center of that agreement. But on this,
yeah, and the hush money payment by Michael Cohen and all of that, which is campaign finance. It goes against campaign finance laws. You can't use money to stop something from coming out that can make you look bad during a campaign. You can't do that.
Front.
By the way, I say both should be legal.
When it comes to, that's a conversation for another time, but when it comes to the motivation here and how MAGA voters feel about this, I mean, you speak to these people, you're someone who has been outspoken against the White House, but you don't generally disagree with some of the things that President Trump does or has run on policy-wise. How do you explain to voters why the president is
let me hear this. This is interesting.
Fighting your discharge petition or fighting the release of this documents from the Justice Department?
Well, I vote with my party 91% of the time, and which means I have agreed with the president 91% of the time. But
damn, that's damning. That's damning because he agrees with you, and the only thing he don't agree with is how you handling this shit, this Epstein shit, and that means damn, a person that agrees with you on everything, you are still going to work against them because of these allegations. That's the one thing, and that's damning in itself, because if Trump had not been doing these things or not be involved, this man would support him 100%, not just 99% of the time, but 100.
When they're protecting pedophiles, when they are blowing our budget, when they are starting wars overseas, I'm sorry, I can't go along with that. And back home, people agree with me. They understand, even the most ardent Trump supporters understand sometimes he gets bad advice, sometimes he gives bad advice, and we wouldn't model our lives after him, his personal life, and they're okay with that. I mean,
somebody said it's prostitution. Yeah, it's sex trafficking too. What the hell are you talking about? It ain't prostitution because they weren't willing. That's the thing. You don't call people being sex trafficked. You can't say that, And if you've been following the story at all, and you know what it involves, and you know what Jeffrey Epstein was charged of, it's sex trafficking. So are you trying to say that somehow he's absolved of any of this? I don't get it. Maybe it's a language issue. But in any case, let's go.
You can still like Donald Trump in Kentucky and like what I'm doing and what Ro Khanna is doing, which is trying to get transparency.
Well, and you were actually...
these women said that they were captured and under fear. So that's not prostitution. Prostitution is a willing act, essentially. These women were coerced and threatened to keep secrets and keep quiet. And they were scared. And they said that. You see? So...
We were watching Adelita Grijalva be sworn in today.
People, I don't understand people. You don't follow the news. You didn't hear it all come out. You don't know anything about what Epstein was doing. It just disappeared from your mind already. That's all people have been talking about for years now. Everybody knows what the claims are that were made by the state. both times, because the witnesses have come out and explained all of it in detail. You just heard Katie Johnson just explain in detail. You see, she was 13 years old, 14 years old. She's a minor. That's not prostitution. That's sex trafficking. That's not a willful act.
And as soon as she was sworn in, she walked over and signed this discharge petition. Seconds later, you went up and shook her hand, as you noted, before any other Democrats had actually even ever gotten over to her side.
You couldn't hear what I said, but I apologized to her for what my own party did, which was to keep her from being sworn in and depriving an entire congressional district of representation for 49, 50 days, which, I won a special election myself. I think I was.
All right, so let's see here. I think this is the last one. They mentioned something here. Hold on. No, it isn't. Don't they mention the it was somewhere. Did I already go over this? It was somewhere in there where they were talking about. Okay, I think that was it. Well, this is Katie Johnson. Now listen, I'm going to be out. I appreciate everybody for coming through today. It's been pretty interesting. Today was a pretty interesting day. Yo, if you weren't here in the beginning, go back to the beginning and listen to the live stream once it is finished buffering or whatever. But I want to thank everybody for coming out. One thing I want to mention is that on, what is it? Is it November 25th? Till December 10th is the blackout. So somebody's been organizing that, and wherever you live, it doesn't matter where you live, but primarily in the U.S., you could say everybody's not going to buy anything. They're going to make the state, the government, the federal government, the whole world feel their dissatisfaction by not buying anything as a form of protest, right? Now, the second thing is, and you're going to need to save your monies, because obviously this continuation, it's not that was passed through Congress. That's nothing big. That's just lasts for 2 months. In January, they got to have the same conversation over. It's only temporary funding for 2 months. So there could be another shutdown, because just like the first time, the Republicans have to negotiate with the Democrats to have enough votes to fund the government. So be prepared. January 30th is the last day they have to do that. Otherwise, from that day on, things won't be getting funded again. Okay? So in my mind, I'm like, that's a perfect time to just say, you know what? Impeach Trump. Like, don't open the government back up until Trump and his administration, all of them, are impeached. That should be the new order of business. I don't see why people should just carry on giving this guy a check, giving his administration a check, giving Kash Patel a check, Pam Bondi a check. This is a check out of your pocket, a check out of your children's mouths. They're taking food out of your kids' mouths. They're taking money out of your pocket for anything, for your housing, for your electricity, for your gas, for your light, for your water, for your food, for your clothing, for your health insurance. They're literally taking money out of your pocket. Like, don't ever forget that. 75% of the U.S. federal budget is paid for by people that clock in 9 to 5. You see what I mean? So don't ever forget, this thing runs by your money. This is your operation here. You use every means and methods legally to shut this operation down until you get them out. These people are just robbing you. Do what you would do to a robber that comes in to rob your house. Get them out of it. Get them out of it. You see? Get them out of there. Like, seriously, like, this is your life. And on that note, I'm going to be out. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Click the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel. Folks, forget the trolls. Fuck y'all. Ain't nobody confused by y'all. This is about action and moving forward. And F what you heard. There's no way in hell the left or any Dems or anybody that's for America is going to let this shit continue. It's over for Trump's regime, and they need to be prosecuted. They need to be held criminally liable. And anybody taking money from the American people needs to be prosecuted. That money needs to be taken back. They need to face criminal and civil trials and congressional trials. But forget the congressional stuff. Yeah, if you're going to hold them with treason, somebody with treason, but the rest of this shit got to be criminal. Like go through criminal element, somehow. So all of it, but in any case, I appreciate everybody for coming out. We're going to wrap soon. Y'all be good and try to treat each other well. When the hard times come again, and there's people facing hard times now, do your best to treat somebody with some kindness. You know what I mean? Like, try to find the people who are most vulnerable and the people that have a little extra, try to see what you can do to make their life a little bit easier. Actually go seek them out, strangers, if need be. You see what I mean? Because that's exactly the kind of thing that's going to make that dollar last way longer. It's going to allow everyone to get through this rough moment better. You know what I mean? These times are very hard. So just remember that the power is in your hands. This is all about you, the American people, the taxpayer. This is us. So let's do this. Let's get this done. When you're tired, you ain't got to explain. Just get it done. All right, peace, y'all.
Crime babies looking for food, starvation, the recipe, people subdued.
Release the Epstein files, you know what I'm saying?
Deceit is the word of the day, and every clue, don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep. Even 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct. Then I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and I feel we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die. You voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers, cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in a way that's subtle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear, but they won't cause the TV's whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't tear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't steer. And like an ad, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Take heed. 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 I traveled the globe just to gain perspective. The theory of relativity applied. Of course, it took a while to decide how I should proceed. But either my life is truly based upon need. So I move forward with more deliberate speed. Smash corny motherfuckers that stuck on greed. My seed is worth more than $1 million in future stock. The goal is to break the safe, the padlock.